Yeah, Prophet Marcella Currents. So this is this is gonna be kind of like part two of putting $1 million down to Colombia. When I first started with South America, man, um, I started out with Peru in Iquitos and another part of Peru. For people who don't know about Iquitos, Iquitos is is one of the smallest, the biggest secluded countries in the world that you can't get to by on ground, or you can't drive there and you can't walk there. You have to get there through either boat or plane. So that's why I put money down there. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad I did that, man. I'm glad I made every move I made. But that was the beginning of me um, sending offerings down to South America. That was the beginning. You know what I'm saying? So I've been working with South America all this year. It's been a very, very, very good year as far as spiritual warfare. Yeah. I've been at it for a while, man. Yeah, like Iquitos in Peru, and Miraflores. That's the other one. If I'm saying that right, Miraflores, Peru. And yeah, I got a church down there called the Union Church of Lima, the Union Church of Lima in South America. So I've been working with them too before Colombia, and I just wanted to put on for Jesus down there where all the stuff is going on, all that stuff that was going on with the drug trade. That's how it started out. I just wanted to put on down there for Jesus and find some spiritual soldiers down there where all the drug trade was at, to be honest with you. And God had other plans. And what I did was I found the part where all the drug trade happened, all the cocaine happened in the 80s and the 90s, in the 70s. I found that community, and I found a church in that community, and I've been working with them. So the church I sent to is in the middle of where all that them tons and tons and tons amounts of cocaine came from in the 70s and the 80s and all of that, when the drug trade was really, really coming out of Colombia. So I went and found that part, that hardest part where it all happened, the historical, how it puts it is the historical part of the drug, when the cocaine came through Colombia, the historical part where it came from. I found that part, that community. Then I did a Google search and found a church in that community, a non-denominational church. And lo and behold, man, I found a good church, and I've been working with them. I done sent them over $500,000 already. Cause see how it works is they exchange this money and get millions and get thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And God set me down through my last fast, not this fast. I'm on a 7-day fast right now. That's what I'm saying. Nobody can ever say I'm totally about money, but what I'm doing this on purpose, because why I'm doing this, because I want God's people to understand, man. Like, we gotta break the cycle of this poverty mentality. You know what I'm saying? The bottom line is, whether you believe in being a Christian talking about money or talking about it, you gotta have it. So at some point, man, reality has to kick in that God gotta have something to do with this. He gotta have something to do with this money. And how can I be more proactive about this? Do I just sit back and wait, or just like a person that fasts, can I do more? Can I do more fasting than this other guy over here? Not competing. But can I do more? Can I be more proactive? Feel me, right? You feel that, right? Okay. So that's my approach, man, to the offer, man. I'm just more diligent and proactive about it, just like I am with fasting, man. You know, I've been took off on fasting. Like, I don't fast for like 3 days. I have to fast for like, on the average, a week. That's my average level of fasting. I do a full week. From Tuesday to Tuesday, from Monday to Monday, from Thursday to Thursday. To that Thursday come back around again, I'll be fasting. You know, and the 7-day fast is what really breaks the yoke, man. You know what I'm saying? People might fast for a couple days, you know what I'm saying? And you ain't gonna get nothing done like that, man. You know what I'm saying? You gotta see, I'm trying to get the body of Christ. That's why my next step is gonna be kind of like just going more in on that fasting, because these are the two tools. If you don't know what we use in the spiritual warfare. Okay, I listen, man. I'm talking about really getting this done. You heard? I'm talking about really getting it done. Okay? I'm not talking about being superstitious. That's my ghetto moment for the day. I almost said suspicious. I'm not talking about being superstitious, right? And you know, I'm not talking about being superstitious. It's sitting back waiting for God to just do something, and it don't work like that. I'm gonna show you how to work this, man. But you gotta pay attention. You gotta do what I ask you to do. You can't cut no corners, man. You know what I'm saying? You can't cut no corners. It's no easy way to get this done. It's no easy way for us to win this war. Everybody's excited about what I'm doing, but what you could be doing is you could be doing the same thing. You know what I'm saying? See, that's where the frustration comes in with the boss man. Is y'all could be doing the same thing now. Come on. I mean, I'm talking about, like, you can go there. You could send money online to South America, and that's going to exchange for thousands of dollars. I'm talking to the body of Christ here in America. Listen. Just slow down. Just slow down for a minute. Just slow down for a minute. Let me holler at you. Let me slow down. Just slow down for a minute. Okay. This right here, just in case, we got really comfortable with it all our life. With the USD, the US dollar. The United States dollar is one of the highest currencies in the world, right? And it's like gold in other countries, literally. Like in other countries, it's like gold. In Africa, it's like gold. I just sent money to Africa, and it turned to $5,000. I just sent $1,000 over there. I just sent thousands of dollars over there in Kenya, right? Because that's where my bloodlines are from. Now, I'm also East African and West African. Okay, so that was initially what I wanted to do there. I just wanted to get in the vicinity of my bloodlines, my tribe of my bloodlines. And so I sent money to Kenya. You know what I'm saying? That I looked up the currency exchange. This is how you find it out. You look up the currency exchange from the USD to whatever country you're sending it to. And when you look up the currency exchange, you're going to see how valuable it is in another country. So I've been doing that with all these different countries now. I done caught up to all the different places I've been given to. And I even tried to send money to Russia, to a church in Russia. You might not realize it, but they ain't got just Catholic churches. You know, most people might think there's just Catholic churches in Russia. No, there's non-denominational Christian churches in Russia. And I found one, and I tried to send some money there. So I don't know if it got there or not. You know, but I sent two transactions to Russia. You know what I'm saying? I done sent money to Germany. I done sent money to Poland. You know what I'm saying? And my story with Poland is I found the city where the main concentration camp happened with the Jews and Hitler, where Hitler was at. I found that city. I Googled it and found that city. Where was the city where the main concentration camp was, where Hitler had all the Jews and was killing the Jews? I found that city and found a church in that city and sent them money. And that wasn't disrespect. That's not disrespect. That's putting on for Jesus. Because if anything, we in this country, we being harassed like the Jews. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So you see how that can easily go that way. Where I'm also one of the people that our bloodlines were persecuted. And so I'm praising Jesus in that atmosphere with my offering. So I done sent money where the concentration camp is at, over there in Poland, where you see that the big concentration camp they always show in these documentaries. I done sent money over there in Poland. I done sent money to Germany. You know what I'm saying? Europe, England. I done sent money to England. Winchester, England. Winchester, that's over there where King Alfred was, in the same city. That was the same city King Alfred was. You know what I'm saying? So I done sent money to in the same city where King Alfred was in England. I've been doing all of that. I've been busy, man, all this year. That's why people just caught on to it. You know what I'm saying? But the city is, I mean, you know, the country, I mean, the year is already done. I already got it in, man. I sent money to Egypt. I was sending money to Egypt. Cairo, Egypt. Over there by the Nile River. And I looked it up on the maps. It's like right there it's kind of near the Nile River and everything. So I've been sending money to Egypt starting last year. So it's about, what's today? The 27th? Yeah. I've been sending money to Egypt since a year ago. Today makes a year. So it's like a year later since I've been sending money to Egypt, man. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's like a year later since I made that transaction. And like once again, in Egypt, the currency exchange is way more than the money we got right here. This money right here, this currency is gold all around the world. Now, let's put it together. You take this, and we still talking about the kingdom of God. Non-denominational people, follow me, because you're going to understand better. All Christians follow me, but you're going to understand better. The seed, this offering, is going to be more because this currency is more valuable than most currencies. So your offering is going to do more for Christians in other countries when they exchange it. So this offering, if you send it outside the country, it's going to do more for God's people. Okay? Than just sending it somewhere around here. You know, and then it's just, what, $40, $50. You take that and go to South America or Egypt or somewhere else, that's going to be hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's going to be hundreds of thousands of dollars. I done sent $500,000 down to Colombia in the district where the cocaine was, all the cocaine went through. I done sent $500,000 in that same community. Medallion, that's what is it called, if I'm saying that right. Medallion, right? So I done sent money down there. I'm gonna get the actual address. Here it is. Okay, so El Poblado, Medallion, Antioquia, Colombia. You know, so that church is in Medallion. Medallion is where all the cocaine was coming from in the 70s and the 80s. Okay? That's where all the cocaine was coming from. So I found a church in Medallion, if I'm saying that right. And in Colombia, in Medallion, Colombia, that's where all that cocaine came from. That's the bottom line, whether I'm pronouncing it right or not. But that everybody know that's close enough. They understand what I'm talking about. Medallion is where I sent my money to, where I sent $500,000 to Medallion. Over $500,000, $600,000, I think. And then I sent some other offerings. It's probably close to almost $1 million already. And then you add, we're still talking about offerings, right? And I don't know why American church didn't teach this. Because this is gold. So if you're talking about seed, you can maximize your seed by sending it out the country. I wish I knew this earlier. I wish I knew this way earlier. Man, I would have been sending money down to South America for years. I would have been doing that for years. But see, I'm going to tell you what did it. Fasting. Fasting. To where God just breaks you through and give you spiritual technology, spiritual inventions, spiritual ideas, spiritual tactics that nobody else is thinking about. Hallelujah. This is what God did for me. While I've been fasting, I do them 7-day fasts. I come out of that with ideas. Witty ideas to outfox the satanic kingdom. Where I didn't even know I was putting, I'm telling you, God knew my heart was in the right place. I didn't even know I was sending hundreds of thousands of dollars to Colombia. I didn't know that. I just worked with what I had. I sent what I could. And then during a 10-day fast, God showed me that money you sent was hundreds of thousands of dollars. Can you imagine how I felt during the 10-day fast? I was on a 10-day fast that I completed. Can you imagine how I felt? Like, what? I can't believe it. And now, so the soldier I am, I'm going to capitalize on that and bless all those down in Medellin, Colombia, South America. I'm with you. I salute you, God's people down there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm with you, man, all the way, man. Because, see, the Americans are playing with you because of me. See, it's our little understanding. You know what I'm saying? Because I started sending money to Colombia, to Antioquia, and if I'm saying that right, Antioquia, right? Is that how you say it? So, with that being said, you know, I've been sending money there since this summertime, since summer. And as soon as I sent it, let me give you my testimony on it. As soon as I sent money to Colombia, to Medellin, Colombia, the next thing you know, the whole atmosphere of America changed. The whole atmosphere, I knew I couldn't ignore it. Like, how do I put this? It's like the weather changed. But it was spiritual weather behind the natural weather, but it looked like spiritual weather, where it was a heaviness that came down after specifically I started giving to Medellin, Colombia. Okay? So I've been working with Colombia before this stuff happened with Trump and all of that. That didn't provoke it. I got provoked through what he's been doing down there to the Caribbean to help the Venezuelan people, to help the people in Venezuela, right? So I sent money there too. I sent money to Venezuela and didn't realize that you can't send money down there because of all the stuff that's going on right now. But it might have made it through. But I sent money to Venezuela already. I sent money to Russia and Venezuela. Yeah, I'm not playing any games. Yeah. Man, you should have knew, man. You should have knew. Playing with a black man, bro. Playing with a black man. What you think I'm gonna do, bro? What you think I'm gonna do, man? You think I'm gonna sit and let these Americans play with me and I'm a prophet of God? Now the community finds out that now they also been playing with a prophet. This is why everybody against them, man. It ain't cause we just hate what America stand for or we jealous of them or something like that. Man, come on, ain't nobody even think about that. If anything, people trying to see in the past how they could work with America, if anything. That's what I mean. All these other countries, most of them, that's all they trying to see how they can work with America because of this, because of the USD. That's what they've been trying, and these other opportunities that ain't nobody, all these people ain't against America like that, man. That ain't even what it is. America be stepping on people's toes, bro. America be stepping on people's toes and then act like somebody hate them so bad. But they ain't gonna tell you they part they played. They ain't gonna tell you what they done to the people. You know what I'm saying? They ain't gonna tell the whole story of what they done to me. They gonna just point to my behavior and make you point to my behavior. But you seeing it in the end, just like how it always is. When America make enemies and then the enemies turn into villains against America, then they gonna point you out. And people gonna come and hear what you talking about. And then it's gonna look like, you just got this vendetta against America, but they ain't telling you the whole story. You know what I'm saying? They not telling you the whole story. That's why I don't even bother, man. I just go along as I am currently navigating, and I will riff concerning the past, just like kind of now, and I just keep it present. I just keep it to the present time right now, because the story is so long, all the stuff that we've been through, man. It's like you got to go back in time to even, you got to go years back, like a TV series. You got to go to the origins of this whole situation, and I can't explain that every single time. You know what I'm saying? So if you listen to me right now, you're going to think, oh man, this dude got it out for America. Little you know, man, they've been playing games with me for like 7 years. All this stuff you see going on, it's not new to me. None of it is. They've been doing that for over 7 years. That's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm talking about. Okay? So I'm not on the chopping block as well as they try to make it seem. You know, that's not true either. So now we become revolutionaries. Now I'm a revolutionary sending money to South America. How more fitting than a revolutionary sending money to South America? That sound right. But I ain't even try to do it for that reason. But that sound about right. For there to be a revolutionary in America sending money to South America. You know what I'm saying? In spirituality. I'm like a spiritual revolutionary. You know what I'm saying? And the best way to help you understand it is we cursing the Americans. We're cursing them. So, but I'm not a witch. I'm not a witch. I'm with God's people, but we're in war mode. We're in full war mode. Remind you, this has been going on over 7 years. So we're not, you're just coming to terms with all of this. You feel me? We've been deep in the trenches. So that's why I say it's going to sound harsh until you see the whole reality. Now you're going to think the curse is deserved when you hear my whole story. You know? So everybody's glad for me to do this now. But see, if y'all would have been on board like way before, man, then people would have been sending me money. See, this is what you got to understand. Because these hands right here, right, have been the ones, these hands, not your hands. These hands have been wronged, severely wronged by the Americans, right? Severely. More than you will ever know, right? The money has to pass through my hands and then go into a church. It can't work. You can try, but this is what I see. My hands have been wronged, right? My hands have been wronged. The money has to pass through my hands, and I'm not taking anything for myself. I'm just trying to finish this job. You understand? The money has to pass through my hands because these hands have been wronged. So if you try to do it, listen, I'm not saying nothing ain't gonna happen. But I promise you, with how much wrong has come through my hands, and this is not a gimmick. It make common sense to you, right? Okay. But at the same time, I'm not asking you to assist me. But if you wanted to, I'm giving you the understanding. They wronged my hands. My life was deprived of my son. My son is 18 years old, right? Because of all the gang stalking, I couldn't be in his life. I tried to put myself in the city where he was at, so that even as a homeless man, I can get up on my feet and be in the vicinity of being able to see him. I was talking to him on the phone when I was down there. So it wasn't like I just went down there and I didn't get to talk to him. I was talking to him while I was down there in the city where he lives at. I don't know if he's still there. I don't know if he moved himself, but at the time he was there, you know. But they was doing so much gang stalking that I just naturally progressed out the city, back out the city. You know what I'm saying? God know how to move me, right? Right. But if that wouldn't have been going on, I would have stayed in the vicinity of my son and being able to stay down there. But God didn't know, because see, it's too much of this was going on. You see how far I had to come. Now, can you imagine if I was there with my son and I had to go through all of this? I had to weather all of this. That was 8 years ago. That was 8 years ago when I was down there and I was talking to my son, right? Right. You see how far I had to come. Now imagine 8 years of me and my son being gang stalked. I had to stay away because of this stuff. Okay? I had to stay away from him because they would have put him in the mix, and they probably did anyway. Now that he's 18, they probably gang stalking him. I just know how they move, man. But it wouldn't have been good for him to have a childhood and being gang stalked if I was there. That's how bad this has been. They not telling you the whole story. How they use Florida police, they use Tampa Bay police, they use Brandon, Florida police, not Brandon Beach, Bradenton Beach, Brandon. Brandon is right outside of Tampa, like a suburb outside of Tampa. They use Brandon police, Tampa Bay police, Charlotte police, San Francisco police. You understand? New York, NYPD. Okay, this deprived me of my son, me being in my son's life. That's what they don't. Goofy people didn't realize I have a son, and I've been active. I put money in his life when I was able to. I said money and hundreds and hundreds of dollars to my son, right? But you can't be in his life with all this foolishness going on and these people playing around you. So I became like an outlaw. And these goofy people now that you see sitting back, it's looking goofy and stupid, they was the ones behind all this stuff. So then after that, I began to curse this country. Now do you understand why? See, when I tell you about my son, it's gonna hit a little different, right? That part. Not just some guy running wild and free and all of that. And I got plenty of time on my hands like a little boy to play with these people. You understand? I missed the most precious time of my son's life because of this. When I could have had a chance to get back in his life. It just wouldn't have been right. It wouldn't have been right now that I see how all this is. And how much I had to do, how much damage I had to do to get this up off me. And all I had to go through to get it up off me. It wouldn't have been right if he would have been in this situation. Okay? Let's get that understood. So, don't judge unless you hear the whole story where these people been playing with my integrity. You know what I'm saying? Playing around me, and I got a kid in the world, and they goofy, and they 20 years old, and they teenagers and stuff in their brains, and I'm well past them ages. You know what I'm saying? But I got that baby face. I'm part SA, I'm part South American, so I look young, but I look young for reasons they don't know why. So they'll label me like I'm some Towards Us kid, like I don't grow up. But really it's racist because you're not able to see an African, Latino, Asian man properly, where he's going to look young because of all his ethnicities. So it's a form of racism and ignorance. You know what I'm saying? When these black and white people looked at me like I was autistic or a man-child because I'm mixed with Asian, South American, and Peruvian, You know what I'm saying? And I'm part English. So, you know, they didn't know all of this. And I'm part Balkan, where, you know, where the Vikings was over there in the Balkan area. You know what I mean? I'm not just English, I'm Balkan too. You won't find that a lot of people that's mixed with European might not be Balkan. A lot of black people mixed with European might not be Balkan. Now you're talking about the area where the Vikings were at, where you might have a Viking bloodline. Yeah, I might have a Viking bloodline from the Balkan bloodline in my blood. You know, so that's why the war is so fierce, and that's why God is doing all of this, because foundationally I was deprived of the life of my son, being in his life at the most important times. He's a grown man now, it's all over. I didn't get to spend time in his life when he was a kid, you know what I'm saying? And that's, we getting, the vengeance is from the Lord concerning that, bro. Because they label me like I was some little hippity hip hop young little dude with no worries. Some little happy-go-lucky little sporty guy with no worries. That's not me. I done been married. I got a kid. You know, you got to put those weights on me. I mean, you know what I'm saying. I'm not just some lightfoot dude out here trying to party all the time. And that's how I was labeled. Like I'm some little happy-go-lucky little dude just running around wanting to party all the time. Cause that's ignorance, man. You know what I'm saying? That's just ignorance of the Americans. So for me, obviously I took it very personal. For me to be gang stalked everywhere I went, and when I went down to where my son was living, you know, they was down there too. So of course I took it very personal. Cause it was personal. It was projected personally towards me. So why wouldn't I take it personal? Okay, you don't realize how long this been going on. That's what the problem is. Okay, you know, and so I tried to riff, like I said, back and forth in the past to let you kind of know why this is the way it is. You know, for me personally and how I feel, and that's all I can do. You know what I'm saying? And if you got empathy or apathy, which is, if you don't have it, that's what serial killers lack, is empathy and apathy. Somebody that is a serial killer, usually they lack empathy and apathy. If you don't have empathy or apathy, both of them, or either one, well, let's just say both, you ain't gonna be able to put yourself in my shoes and feel what I feel. See, empathy and apathy is literally being able to feel somebody. People say, I feel you, but you don't. Because you don't have any empathy. You don't have any apathy. If you felt me, then when I tell you that I had a chat, my son was down there in Tampa, and these wild bastards was running around playing games, right? You would really feel me, right? But how I feel, right? Where they using police and everything. You know what I'm saying? And it wouldn't matter what it was about. No particular situation is worth tearing up the whole country. I don't care what it's about. I don't care. And that's my attitude. I don't care what it's about. So it ain't gonna never be justified to me or the people that think like I do. It don't matter what it's about. It ain't gonna ever be justified, which means you are in liability land to everybody, because they ain't gonna let you justify all of this. So you gotta make me bigger than life or some bigger problem than life to make it size up right, and it ain't working. You know what I'm saying? Because how people gonna see it, either way it go, whatever it is you talk about, it's not worth tearing up this whole country. And that's where we win. That's a checkmate. Because everybody gonna still feel like you deserve to die for tearing up this whole country, you know, for one mere case of whatever you was talking about. Nobody ain't trying to hear that. It don't matter what it was. That's what I'm trying to show you. Now, if you were smart, you would have already come to that conclusion. But obviously you haven't. No one cares what it is. It's not worth, even a prophet would tell you, it's not worth tearing up a whole country. Even when you are marrying children yourself as Americans. We ain't trying to hear that. That's the nail in the coffin right there. You marrying children yourself, bro. Listen, man. Listen, listen, you done played, you got the tears of a clown. You ever heard that song? Do, 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 do. You got the tears of a clown, man. We don't care. That's basically the story of America now. These secret society people. You shed tears of a clown, and no one cares. That's the best way to put it. You played games all these years, and now you got tears of a clown. You shed tears of a clown. That's exactly the best way to look at it. You know, because you darn sure played the position of a clown, and now you're crying, so to speak. You shed tears of a clown, man. That's all it is to it. Hey, listen, man. Let me tell you something. Ain't no way in the world you're going to find a contradiction in me big enough to justify this situation. Ain't no way in the world you're going to find any contradiction in me big enough to justify this situation. It don't matter what it is. It ain't going to be good enough. Ain't nobody going to go along with some little dumb contradiction that you can't even prove in real life. That's what I'm saying. It's not going to work. It's not going to fly, little buddy. And that's all I'm saying. See, that's how we know you a clown. That's how we know you ain't real. You ain't from the streets I come from. You ain't from these real people that I know. Because, listen, ain't no way in the world you're going to be able to justify this. Ain't no justification. That's for all these gang stalkers, secret society, Freemasons, Illuminati members. They can't justify their position because nobody cares enough for the whole country to be tore up, for you to be ghetto and try and ratchet and try to see if you can pull pedophilia out this person. Or to make you to bait him into making him feel like he a pedophile. I ain't gonna never feel like I'm a pedophile because I know what I would like to do in my bedroom with one woman, a wife. I've been a married man with a child. The worst thing you could do is play with a father. Somebody that's been a father to a child, and you talking about a pedophile. It's suicide. That's why I won. Because God gonna look at the kid. The police, the real authorities, is gonna look at the kid. They gonna look at my life, my child in my life. Why you ain't got no children, do you? Half of these gay people, you ain't got no children. And all you gonna talk about is your sister's children. All you gonna talk about is your brother's children. Or the children in your family. No, I'm talking about children out of my loins. You ain't got no children. So listen, buddy, it's a whole different lane when you have a child yourself. And you could be ignorant and say, well, anybody can have a child. That don't make them a father. Oh, but I paid money. I went down to Florida to see my son for his birthday. I went down there just for that reason and went back to North Carolina. I done took a trip to go see him for his birthday. I done put money out for him. Yeah, I done put myself on child support payments so that he get money, and my wife didn't even take the money. So I done played the position of a real man. Okay, that's why it's suicide for you, because you a boy. Half of you gay men are boys, because you ain't got no responsibility. You ain't got no weights on your shoulder like we do. You ain't got no children, and you ain't got no real responsibilities. What's your responsibilities? You ain't getting no children. You ain't producing no children. You don't got the responsibility and the pain that we got when we can't be in our child's life and things like that. And baby mama drama, you ain't got none of that going on. So how can that compare themselves to me? How can they compare themselves to me, bro? It's not happening. I'm a real man, buddy. And all that little psychological stuff they doing out there that they don't think I hear, right? Listen, I'm African, man. I hear everything you're doing. You a boy to me. I want you to know that. And ain't none of that stuff working. And ain't nobody gonna ever feel any contradiction you find in me. Like I was saying before I was rudely interrupted. Ain't nobody gonna find enough of a contradiction in me for you to justify your position. That's what make you a clown. Ain't nobody justifying that position. And it don't matter what kind of contradiction you find in me. Ain't no real men and women gonna ever stand up on me when I got a child in the world and half of these lesbians and studs and transsexuals and gay men and bisexuals don't have no children. Most of them don't. And if they do, they still ain't playing the position that I played. I've been more of a man in the whole situation. Okay? I lost my son to the state because of my wife. Not because of me and my actions. I lost my parental custody rights to my son because of her. Stuff that women usually go through. Losing, their children to the state. Losing parental rights because of a trifling man. I went through that with a trifling woman. You understand me? You ain't, listen, you gay. You ain't gonna have for y'all ain't never gonna go through that. So that's what I'm saying. I got a whole different level of a backbone that you won't have. It ain't got nothing to do with just sexuality. It's the experience behind the sexuality. We produce kids behind our sexuality. We produce babies. We produce baby mama drama behind our sexuality. We got child support behind our sexuality. We pay bills behind our sexuality. You don't pay no bills behind your sexuality because you don't produce no kids. So then I'm just weeding out all them type of people, bro. Okay? You are in two different lanes, and that's what settles it. You ain't got no baby mama drama. You ain't got no kids. You ain't never had no real responsibility. That's why half of y'all, I can tell your energy is the energy of a boy that never had no man responsibilities. And you get to party all your life until you done. That's all you do. That's all half these American gay men do is party, get high, and have sex all the time. They can't even have a real sober conversation. That's all it's about is drugs and sex. That's all they about. Shallow. You shallow. I've been around them. Shallow, and they ain't got nothing on their mind and nothing to talk about worthwhile. They can't even have a deep conversation. I ain't never had nobody I ever knew that was gay around me that had a conversation that was an in-depth conversation. Shallow airheads. Ain't got nothing on their mind but sex and drugs. Like they 25 years old. So you don't want to have no real conversation with me, man, because listen, I'm going to hurt your feelings and I'm going to tell you the truth. I ain't going to pat a cake with you. I'm going to tell you the truth. Me and you, we don't share the same level of pain. You don't have the pain I have. You ain't never walked the path I walk. It ain't got nothing to do with you being gay. That's you flattering yourself. I'm talking about me. I'm talking about heterosexuality. Where we have sex and we get responsibility out of just one act of sex. And you don't get no responsibilities out of no act of sex. Where you got kids after a night of passion. That's what happens to us as men in the world. And all you can talk about is your sister kids and your dad, and you know what I mean? That's what they gonna do. How you halfway raise your sister kids or how you halfway raise your brother kid. We ain't talking about that. That ain't the same thing. Because you get to dismiss them and go back to what you doing whenever you want to. We can't dismiss no kids. Not like that. You can. You can come and babysit. That's what a gay boy gonna do. He gonna come babysit, cook around and cook them some little sweet little salty food. That's all you gonna do, bro. You ain't gonna live in my shoes. So that's why I find it extra offensive when these lames, these gay boys play in my lane and you ain't had no responsibility. This is why. Because you ain't had the responsibility and the burden and the pain that a man has. Dealing with these baby mama drama and all, dealing with baby mama drama and these kids and all of that. You ain't got that going on, man. So I don't even consider you my equal when it comes to my experiences in life and what I've been through. So therefore, me and you can never be enemies because I don't acknowledge you on my level. Okay, that's that. That's what a real man gonna tell you. I ain't gonna talk about your sexuality. I'm gonna talk about my experience versus yours in America. That's what I'm gonna talk about. And you ain't gonna be able to talk about none of that gay stuff. That's how we gonna get past that. We gonna talk about your experience versus mine. And we find you to not have no responsibilities. You just get to run around and cruise and jumping in and out of cars all your life. And then when you get washed up, you want to go chill and eat Chef Boyardee laying down on a bed somewhere at a shelter. After you done used your body up. After you done partied half your life. With no responsibilities. That's the key part. No responsibilities but yourself. And you don't even do that. You ain't even halfway taking care of yourself. That's what I'm saying. You don't want to have this real conversation with me because that's half of these gay people. That's all I'm talking about, the average gay person. I ain't talking about these 1 in a million gay people that you would know. No. We talking about the average gay person that's been playing out here in our face. You ain't got no responsibilities. You ain't got no children. You ain't got no baby mama drama. You ain't got no children to take care of, and you ain't never took care of no children the way a father has. And it's not gonna be the same if you don't have no children that come out your body. Because children come from a man, not from a woman. Children come from a man and go inside the egg of a woman. Children come from a man, buddy. And you ain't producing no children, bro. That's it. That's how you know I'm a real man. That's the reason why I don't deal with gay people no more. Because as I grew as a man, I realized, man, they don't even have no experience like I do. They get to party all day life, and when they get done using drugs and partying their body up and everything, they get to lay down somewhere. They go lay down somewhere, huh? After they done. You know what I'm saying? So, man, that's basically summed up, man. You can take it. Listen, hey, I got tough skin. I took everything they had to say about me. But they can't take this. Listen, they can't do the same thing, can they? But they listen, it's more than one way to prove you tough. I can take anything you're saying to me, long as it's the truth. Long as it ain't fabricated in ghetto without any evidence, I'm telling the truth about you. But yeah, these the same people say they from the streets, but they can't take, listen, you say you so hardcore, but you can't even take nobody telling you the truth. Man, half of you gay men, man, listen, let me tell you something. Listen, buddy, you couldn't even go out there and talk to people on the streets. You'll get your heart broken. They'll break your little gay heart. Tell you the truth about yourself, man. Half of you, man, listen, you get to run around all your life and everything and act like a girl to your family. Act like a girl to your family. That's why nobody put no man pressure on you, because they look at you like a girl. So you don't get no man pressure from the men in your family because you get esteemed as a girl. And some of them hide behind that so they don't have no responsibilities as a man. It's easy to hide behind being gay, and then see, some people can come and see, man, listen, really the truth is you don't want no real responsibility in life. So you just act like a punk so people overlook you. They don't put no man pressure on you if you act like a punk. That's why I do not compete with gay people, and I don't want them trying to compete with me. Imagine me, a straight man. That's how you know I'm straight. Imagine me competing with gay boys. Come on now, think about that, bro. Even if you change your life and you really was never gay, because I done had a gay man tell me, you ain't gay. And this is an old school gay dude, not no young boy. I done had a straight up gay dude tell me, no, you not gay, bro. You not gay. So that's my credibility. I wasn't trying to convince him. I just was being myself, and he volunteered that information to me. We wasn't even on no subject of talking about whether I'm gay or not. He just volunteered it. So once a gay person tell you ain't gay, all of y'all out there going by ghetto, ratchet stuff that don't even matter anymore. All this hearsay, all this talking, all this fabrication, all the stuff that you sitting around gossiping about, all chalked off as ghetto, right? But I can show you my manhood. I can show you a child that I brought into the world. You ain't brought no children into the world. God says be fruitful and multiply. You never was fruitful and multiplied. You was never fruitful and multiplied, bro. You did not take one of the first commands that God gave man, which is to be fruitful and multiply. That's a command. It's not. It is. Okay? This is why I listen, man. The reason why I even start, because, man, it's people in this building, right? And I know they gay, right? Moving around playing psychological games, bro. Let me tell you something, bro. I know you're gay, and that's why I'm going to let you know the difference between me and you. You ain't got no responsibilities. You ain't got no baby mama drama. Even right now, all you thinking about is the next party you about to do, probably when you get your new apartment. You think about the party that you about to get into, or where you going to be living in, a new gay spot you going to go to in your neighborhood, ain't you? The possible gay party you going to go to. That's all you thinking about. Your next apartment and in the little gay bar you going to go to in that apartment, in that neighborhood. You think about the new little gay bar you're going to go to, ain't you? I'm just being 100. You can't listen. I can take anything people can say to me, but look, they can't take it, can you? That's how we also know you're not the man that you claim to be. You should be able to take anything anybody got to say to you. That's a part of being a man. I can take anything you got to say, long as it's the truth. That's all I'm saying. Not no ghetto speculation. Long as it's the truth, I can take anything anybody got to say to me. But if you a lying bastard, you a ghetto bastard that ain't got no proof of what you talking about, I'ma expose you as a ghetto bastard. That's that. Most of you are ghetto bastards. That's all you are. You a ghetto bastard sitting around talking about, and what makes you a ghetto bastard is you talking about what you heard. You know the most ghetto thing you can say out your mouth? For white people, you might not know. The most ghetto thing you can say out your mouth is, we heard. I'm serious. We heard. That's the most ghetto thing you can say out of your mouth. And you think people from the street pride themselves on being ghetto. Not to an extreme. Not to the extreme. Listen, I don't know nobody from the hood trying to be ghetto to an extreme. It's corny, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like a joke, a parody or something. You know, we heard like some In Living Color stuff. Like something from In Living Color. You trying to see me and you can't. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing fake about me, buddy. I can hear him a mile away. Ain't nothing fake about me. That's what you got already coming in your mind. Because listen, buddy, I'm going to tell you something else about most black people. I'm going to tell you your problem. You size people up on old school principles. You can't size nobody up no more and figure out who people are, bro. That's gone. That's done. First of all, the reason why you can't do it is because people are on too many drugs. How you going to read somebody and they on drugs? People on a million different drugs. They on pills. They on drugs. They on alcohol. What they call that? They on codeine, syrup, on scissor, all of that. Ecstasy, everything. You ain't gonna ever find me to be fake. You looking for it, but you ain't gonna find it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's you in the high school mentality. You in a high school mentality looking for somebody to be fake. I'm a grown man. I don't care if you think I'm fake or not. I know nobody ain't gonna try me. And they already know that in this building. They already heard. Buddy, listen. You see what happened when that person came into my door? You see what happened to him, right? He backed up. You know why he backed up? You take a wild guess why he backed up. So until then, man, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna deal with no pressure. I already proved myself in this building already. Everybody know what I'm made of. See, that's the difference between me and you also. I don't gotta pose. Gay boy is good for posing all the time. I can sit here, relax, and feel sensitive about what I'm saying and seeing how it's going out and be self-conscious about how that's going out. But you ain't gonna never find me to be fearful or fake. I'm gonna watch my position and disposition and be sensitive about that. But ain't gonna ever find me to be fake or fraudulent, buddy. I don't got that to prove every time I turn around, unlike you. That's the difference. I proved myself in this whole neighborhood. I'm saying this as a man. I've been correcting people and checking people in this whole, outside this building. Outside the building. I've been out there in the neighborhood where you ain't gonna ever go out there and talk like and play around with people like you playing with me. I done went out in this neighborhood and talked the same way to these people in this neighborhood. Go ask them. Go ask these people in Brooklyn what they done seen already. That's Brooklyn, not bums in the shelter. Won't you go out there in the snow and go ask the Brooklyn? Go find somebody in the snow and ask them about me. Go find somebody in the snow out there. Go find, before more snow get on the ground, go out there and find somebody, buddy. Go find somebody up in Utica, ask them about me, man. I already done checked somebody and they loved it, bro. They was loving it. Grown men sitting like, yo, like that. And who you supposed to be? I'm talking about Brooklyn, the wild, the real wild. This is a controlled environment. That's why you think you're hard in here. I'm talking about the wild. I'm talking about out there in Brooklyn. I'm checking people out there when nobody can help me. That's the difference between me and you, bro. That's what I'm saying. I don't get tried by suckers, bro. I don't know what you thought. Hey, the last man thought he could do it, didn't he? I done had military tell you, man, listen, bro, listen. Military done said, man, listen, this dude was a Navy SEAL. He said, don't let the baby face fool you. See, y'all used to posers in New York. I'm not from New York, bro. That's what you keep forgetting, don't you? I'm not born and raised in New York. You keep forgetting that, don't you? So how you gonna size me up and I ain't from New York? Huh? Real recognized real. Oh, like an encyclopedia. You just know every man like an encyclopedia. Real. Come on, man. That's why some of y'all get broke off out here. That's 7 out. You know why you got broke off? Because you think you know everything. You think you know everybody. You can't see me, bro. I can see you. You was just, hey, he was just on the floor over there listening. Am I right or wrong? Okay, so I pulled the card right there. Like, I don't know. Just sitting right there listening and trying to see if you can find some, with your little spirituality, see if you can find something fake. I tried to tell you, sucker. I just told you. You ain't gonna find no contradiction good enough to justify your position. That's that. Now, if you a boy, you a boy. You gonna run around like the Mickey Mouse Club, like this the Honeycomb Clubhouse. And you gonna think you can find a contradiction in me noteworthy to this little dumb community that you're trying to impress. I don't care about them. I went and checked people out in Brooklyn. And I'm in my right mind. Just in case you thought, oh, well, it don't count because he crazy. No, listen, buddy. Everybody know I'm in my right mind, bro. Stop playing, bro. Stop playing games, man. I went out here, man. I'm too intelligent. I make videos. What you do? You couldn't even make a video. Come on, stop playing. You couldn't even make a video worthwhile where anybody want to hear anything coming out your mouth. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. I make videos, man. That's how you know I'm in my right mind, buddy. Based on the content. Go ask Brooklyn. Go ask Brooklyn if you think I'm somebody to play with, buddy. That's all I'm saying. Right out here. Away from the building. Ain't got nothing to do. I don't even know these people in here. You know what I'm saying? I know more about out there than here. People know me better out there than here. And I like it like that. They know me better out in the wild than over here. What conversation I ever had with somebody over 5 minutes in this building? Yeah, I ain't even held a conversation over 5 to 10 minutes in this building with nobody in here. So how you think you can see me, man? Because listen, you jocking me. That's what you are. You jocking me based on my reputation. That's all it is. And that's what make you think just like these famous people. You know these famous people. You don't know me no more than you know them famous people, buddy. You don't know me. You don't know nothing about me. You can't see me at all with that weak spirituality too, either. That weak spirituality that they spewing out. What you think, you Luke Skywalker? You can't be serious. What you think, you Luke Skywalker, huh? Or you think you Anakin, right? Darth Vader. Man, stop playing, bro. Listen, man. Listen. I done lived in California. I done lived in Florida. I done lived all throughout this country. You can't fool me. You can't see me. You understand? You a local. And even among the locals, I get more respect than you. I guarantee you that. I can go out here to Utica, man. I done check people right out there. They could have did whatever they wanted to do. I done check people in the store. They could have did. They could have had a gun on them or whatever. It don't matter. Know what I'm saying? I done check people all around, bro. I be walking up and down the street, man. You know what I'm saying? Listen, whoever wanted. That's what I'm saying. Now you, on the other hand, you get in here and act tough like one of these house niggas. Cause you a house nigga. Listen, you won't act like that in the field. In the field, you gonna look at me strange out there in the field. Come on, man. Stop playing with me, bro. Stop playing with me. I ain't never on no shelter time, buddy. That's y'all lame bum niggas. I ain't never on shelter time. I'm on real nigga time at all times. Which means I don't care who the staff is. I don't care nothing about this building. Listen, I don't care nothing about that. And you the type of house nigga that hide behind the building. Like you safe in here. Like you safe in this building. I'm done with it, man. I'm done with it. I said what I need to say. You know what I'm saying? Don't ever play with me, buddy. Don't ever play with me. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. That's how I real lion. I'm a lion, bro. Why you think I'm being carnal? Why you think I'm being a carnal Christian? I don't care about that. You know why? Because I ain't doing no cussing. I ain't saying nothing sinful. If you pay attention, I don't let people split hairs with me. I check people as a grown man. I check people out there, and I correct people as a grown man out there. People saying, I'm fake. You gaslighting, buddy. You gaslighting. Something I'm very aware of. I ain't gonna never feel fake. I'm about to put $1 million down in Colombia. Okay, what you doing? Getting bubble gum out the machine. You getting a soda and bubble gum. Sounds a little gay, don't it? Soda and bubble gum, ain't it? You got some soda and bubble gum, don't you? Well, I went and got me a can of soda and some bubble gum. You got soda and bubble gum. Well, I drank the soda first, so the bubble gum the flavor from the bubble gum don't get taken from the soda. Hey man, listen. Dudes is clowns, bro. That's all I'm saying, man. You know what I'm saying? Show respect. You know what I'm saying? Back up. You know what I'm saying? Cause see, people try to incorporate themselves. A lame will try to incorporate. You can't incorporate yourself with me, bro. I'm gonna shoot that down. I'm gonna humiliate you. Trying to anyway. See, sometimes people just trying to incorporate themselves into your life, right? As to say, I'm on that level or I'm affiliated with that level of fame or whatever. Black people good for doing that. You'll hear somebody got a reputation and try to put pressure on them. Listen, I'm not that dude, bro. I already proved myself in this building. Everybody know what happened. You should know. All you mind readers, I'm pretty sure you know, don't you? That part. Okay? And you pass over that threshold, I got legal right to do whatever I want to do to you. Because I can go to the police and say, hey, this is not considered a shelter. No, this is not. This is considered my personal space, right? So anybody that passed over that threshold, that's like passing over the threshold of my apartment. Right or wrong? Yes, it is. Okay, yes, it is. On technicality and legalities. This is not a shelter. Well, let's put it like this. This room is not a shelter room. It's only one man to it, right? If I have authorization over that door to lock that door as I want to keep people out, that's my private space where I can be in here unclothed and everything, right? Right. So no one can pass over that without my authorization. If I lock that door and somebody forced their way through it, you think I'm gonna get charged for doing something to somebody and they forced their way through a door and the door already got a hole in it from somebody trying to do that? I know my legal rights, bro. I guarantee you the jury is gonna sympathize with me. Yeah, you in a whatever you want to call it, but you basically in like this little apartment like room, and somebody forced their way through your door. Listen, what I supposed to do? That's right. That's gonna be that's gonna be the perfect position to prove my position, to justify my position. You come through my door, Listen, buddy. What's supposed to happen after that? What I supposed to do? Sit there and anticipate you coming through my door? You tripping. That's why anybody pass through that door, man, listen. They might scoop you up and I'll still be here. That's my mentality, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to tell you, man, stay out people's lane, bro. Stay out people's lane. This is real life. Y'all all need to see this because, see, Christians go through way more in the real world. Yes, we do. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to go through more as a man in America. You're going to go through way more. You know what I'm saying? And as a man, as a black man, you're going to go through a lot of stuff with people playing games, trying to put pressure on you, everything like that. And you got to let people know, look, man, let me tell you something. Whatever you own, whatever drugs you do, they got you coming my way, I don't know you and I don't want to know you. That's why I got a sign on my door right now. I got a sign on my door right now. Don't knock on my door. Do not disturb. This room is closed indefinitely. It's closed to the public. There's no visitors. There's no visitors invited. No. Me and you on two different levels of life and walks of life. Ain't got nothing in common. Ain't got no reason to be cordial with you. Nothing like that. I already know what you're about. Ain't got no need to be around you. That's that. I listen, if anything, I need real men to relate to. They got baby mama drama and kids and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Talk about those type of things. I ain't got no time talking to some dude who just like he like a party animal. You been a party animal for like 30 years, still a party animal. We ain't talking about them dude you been a party animal for 30 years. Some of them look like they've been a party animal for 30 years. You look like you've been a party animal for 40 years. Oh, man. Listen, man. We put money out the country. And for real Christians, let me help you understand something. I know what it is to be in the flesh. I know what it is to be carnal. That's not what this is. That's why you got to look a little bit closer. You know what I'm saying? You got to look a little bit closer because you as a man in the real world have the right to defend yourself, right? And you as a man can communicate as a man, right? Right. Even the Bible says, be angry and sin not, right? Some of you will think it's even a sin to be angry. The Bible says, be angry and sin not. Now, how many Christians will act like you got a fruit problem if you're a little angry? But the Bible gives you room to be angry. The Bible says, be angry and sin not. Okay? See, that's why I believe in the Bible, man. See, y'all walk around fake, you know what I'm saying? Internalizing your anger, and that's why you're stressed out. That's why your body broke down, because you internalize all your anger. And I express mine without sinning. Okay? That's the difference. So like I said, man, we put money down in Colombia. I'm putting money down in Colombia. A whole $1 million. I'm putting a whole $1 million down there. And this is just an extension of all this that has been going on for over 7 years. See, you might sound like me after 7 years of being gang stalked. While you quick to judge like a lame, you know what I'm saying? You might be like me after being gang stalked after 7 years for playing for the community playing with you for 7 years. You know what I'm saying? That's another thing. You know, watch your karma, because man, you know, you put your mouth on people and you know you ain't been through half of what they've been through. And you couldn't go through it. You couldn't. So how you gonna judge it? And you couldn't even go through it. You know what I'm saying? But you gonna judge it, but you can't go through it. Listen, man, that's why God has mercy on me. He see everything I'm going through, man. He see all the stuff I'm going through, but you don't. That's why it's a personal relationship with Jesus. You know what I'm saying? And you learn that the older you get. These people don't if you ain't even going through what I'm going through, you're another Christian. You know, you got your own set of pain and everything. These folks out here don't know what you're going through, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you gotta look at it, man. They can't see what you're going through. They couldn't possibly know what you're going through to the full capacity. So you don't let them judge you. If they ain't close enough to you to see half of what you're going through, don't let them judge you. Cause how they know? I mean, they don't know why you are the way you are. And it will make all the sense if you realize, okay, they've been gang stalking this man for over 7 years. Well, I can understand why he is the way he is. Over 7 years, consistently, they've been playing with this dude. Well, hey, I understand that. I understand that. They followed him from California to New York to North Carolina and Florida. I understand that. I totally get it, man. You know what I'm saying? See, they made a mistake of leaving me a letter, right? Written on something. It don't matter what it was they wrote me a letter that they would hunt me forever back in 2018. That was 7 years ago, right? Right. See, once they did that, it made it all real. See, I was so strong, they had to try to pull me backwards with some psychological stuff. So when I got to Kingsland, Georgia, from walking from Florida, that's why they jealous too. I walked from Florida to Georgia. When I got there, they left me a letter talking about we will hunt you forever, something like that, right? And see, this is why all of this happened to your community. This is why I am the way I am. This is why I'm sending $1 million down to Colombia, to South America. You know what I'm saying? I'm sending $1 million down there. Yeah. This is like half of it right here. You know what I'm saying? I already sent like almost $1 million. I sent like $500,000. I seen the church. The church is nice. We got a big old open space and everything. They got a nice website up since I sent the money down there. And I'm glad they spending the money, you know, in the ministry and everything. And I'm going to send more. And I'm going to keep sending more. Now, you could be a clown and talk about the posture of my heart and whatever, and it ain't going to work. But it is working. And everybody know it's working. So you can sit up and judge me and say I'm in the flesh and I'm just acting like a gangster with this. You can say all of that. But guess what? It's working. Glory to God. It's working. And all the glory to God for it working. It's working. And that's all you need to realize. See, you the one wind up looking like a clown. You know what I'm saying? Sitting up trying to judge me and talking about it ain't going to work, but it is. Okay, you ain't going to look like a clown, but when it's working, but you said it wasn't going to be working. All these Christians up here talking about, oh, but that's a 7 hour. All these Christians up here talking about, oh, that ain't gonna work because of how his heart posture is. It ain't gonna work because of how he talking. But why it's working then? I'm gonna tell you why it's working, because God had mercy on me. That's why. And he's having mercy today. And he's gonna have mercy tomorrow. And I'm not saying that in an arrogant way. Me and God have a real relationship. And you don't have a relationship. Most of you don't have a relationship with God. Well, if you did, I mean, you should be able to use high-tech discernment, right? High-tech discernment. Where you see things for what it is. Yeah. Listen, this is going down to South America, man. I'm not playing with these Americans, bro. I'm not playing with them. You don't put no pressure on a man like me. I'm way too dangerous for that. I'm way too dangerous for you to tiptoe around me like that. And that's what you need to realize. And only somebody real gonna tell you that. I'm way too dangerous for that. Yeah, you can't be tiptoeing around me, playing around me like that. That's real. That's real. You don't see that. A sucker gonna sit back and ball up like while you playing games. Listen, bro. I'm gonna let you know about me while you're around. That's real. That's real. I check people in your neighborhood. I check people out here. So what would you say if you was me? You checking people out here, but it's supposed to be somebody in here. Man, come on, bro. And I guarantee you, none of them in here, they ain't checking nobody out there. I guarantee you. Not one time did you do it. I guarantee you, man, you ain't checked nobody. I'm talking about in this neighborhood, outside of this little neighborhood, out there on Utica. Out there on the strip. You ain't checked nobody out there, man. Come on. Come on, man. You gonna play this little clown position. You gonna play this little gay boy position. Little gay stud position. Gay stallion position. you gonna play a gay stallion position, ain't you? You gonna walk around like a gay stallion. Well, I'm a gay stallion. Don't hurt me. I walk around like a man. That's what I do. You walk around, you come out here and change your tune and walk around like a gay stallion when you come out there on Utica. Come on, stop playing. You prancing around like a gay stallion. Letting people know you gay so they don't bother you. Yeah, and tell the truth. Half these gay people be walking around gay so you put a little twist in it so they don't mess with you. Yeah, when the real street people come around, look, you gonna act halfway gay so they don't bother you, so they don't do nothing to you, so they don't take you seriously. You hide behind gay stuff so people don't take you seriously, bro. Now listen, man. Listen. With all the politics, I gotta hold my head out there on my own, bro. And I'm still checking people. You think I'm gonna play with somebody in this building? Not, absolutely not. Absolutely not, buddy. And you see why. It's not just, oh, he just saying something. You see what I mean, right? Okay, you checking people in the hood. You gonna come in here and let people play with you? When that's the wild out there and they can have anything on him. Think about it, man. Come on. It don't add up for me to be like that. I'm not gonna be like that. You ain't gonna ever see me like that, buddy. You got me confused and you got me confused with these other guys, bro. I'm an individual. I'm definitely an individual. And you gotta approach me like an individual. I don't care nothing about that. Cause I know half of you have lost your humanity, and I haven't. I'm still a human. I still have a human heart. I don't have the heart of an animal. And see, that's the art of this situation. Through being gangster, you got to make sure you keep a heart of a human being. You don't become an animal like these people. Look how they carry their stuff. That's like an animal, man. I call it how I see it. They can't go back to normal. That can't be never a normal kind of person anymore. Cause they lost their humanity in the midst of this stuff. That's what they did. Okay? You can't see me, I can see you. You know what I'm saying? But you ain't gonna get no 15 minutes of fame off of my back. I know that too. I don't let people get no fame off of me. You can't get it because you're not worthy of it. It ain't nothing about you where you should be in my face, or you should, but they put you in the position where you think you can see me, bro. Listen, man, come on. You playing yourself, man. I'm sending $1 million down to Colombia, man. What you doing? Bubblegum and soda. Bubblegum and some soda. You buying a Sprite and some bubblegum, Bubble Yum. Bubble Yum and Sprite, right? Bubble Yum and Sprite. That's what you doing. I'm a grown man over here sending money to Colombia, South America, way across the water. And you think I'm gonna be subject to some bums? No, it's not gonna happen. I see you, but I don't see you. And that's based on your attitude and what you doing. We sending money down to Colombia. I'm sending $1 million down there. Now I'm in the big leagues. I'm talking hundreds of thousands of dollars at this point. I already done sent over 100, $500,000 already to South America. I told y'all gonna respect the kingdom of God like more than you respect gangsters. So we gotta deal with money. We gotta start dealing with money. Cause you gonna respect us. I'm talking about the streets now. The street kingdom gonna respect us like y'all respect them gangsters. And so we had to get involved with money. Makes sense, right? Makes sense. I'm sending I already sent $500,000 down there to South America. Where all the cocaine come from, Medellin, if I'm saying that right. Excuse me if I'm not, but Medellin, South America. Y'all, that's close enough for those people who know what it is, right? I found a church and sent money, $500,000 down there. We gon' get in here in the wild and get our respect off the streets. Now, if it's not your lane, then that's you. I done been through it too much for me to be scared of anything that you think I should be scared of. I mean, what you talking about? You don't realize I done leveled up so many times, man. While you was being a clown, it ain't even funny. That's why you don't take me seriously, because see, listen, you wasn't paying attention. You wondering when it happened, when you wasn't paying attention. That's when it happened. All that time you was being a clown, like a goofy little clown gonna be. Listen, you wasn't paying attention. You wasn't paying attention. I was leveling up all that whole time. When I was fasting, every time I fasted, I leveled up. Every time I gave all I had, I leveled up. Every time I was sending money to Chicago, every time I was sending money to Los Angeles, every time I was sending money to Detroit, St. Louis, New Orleans, South Carolina, every time I was sending money all last year, that was all last year. DC, sending money to DC. Listen, buddy, listen. How is it fabricated? How? You can't see the lane. That's what it is. Now you still can't see the lane, and you're in trouble. Listen, ain't nobody gonna touch me. I ain't in trouble. You mad? Listen, are you mad at me, or you mad at yourself? Like I like to say, you mad at me or you mad at yourself? You mad at yourself, buddy. Because you put yourself in that situation. You put yourself in this situation. You mad at yourself. That's the truth. You don't know me enough to be mad at me, buddy. And then when we realize you the one started all these problems, okay, you're going to be mad at yourself, not me. That's why you hate yourself. That's why half of you want to kill yourself. All these gang stalkers, that's what we talk about, if you wonder who we talking about. Who I'm talking about. These gang stalkers, man, listen. These Freemasons and Illuminati, fake Illuminati members. Just made up Illuminati chapters. Huh? Man, look, man. Listen. I done lived in Los Angeles. Half of y'all New Yorkers is scared to live in Los Angeles. That weed, that's another way to weed out half of y'all in New York right now. Right here. Right now, here and now. You scared to live in Los Angeles. Huh? You wouldn't even step foot in Los Angeles, California. But yet you can see me, but yet you in my lane. Not so, sir. Not so, sir. Not so, sir. Go live on Skid Row in LA and get back at me. Where you can't even try them youngins, and you gotta hold your head like it's the streets, like it's a set. Yeah, you can't go there acting like a bum. They'll drag you out. They'll pull you out. Some kind of drama gonna pull you out. You gotta hold your head, buddy, like the streets in LA. Now, New York and the East Coast, you know, people bumming out in the streets and you just among bums, you know. But you go to LA, what they ain't tell you about Skid Row is you gotta hold your head walking through them. Like the streets. Like the ghetto. It ain't just bums around there. It's young people and that's threats. It's young threats on the streets of Skid Row. Oh, that's what they ain't gonna tell you in these videos. That part. They ain't gonna tell you about them young threats in Skid Row. Young threats. Well, you gotta hold your head. I'm just being honest. That was the energy there. And I got my respect. You know what I'm saying? So imagine me coming back to a place in New York where they scared to go to LA. They scared. I told you, listen, you listen to White Boy, he gonna tell you I was homeless. I'm gonna tell you I was among people that was threats. Young threats. Who you gonna listen to? You gonna listen to somebody that's talking about the streets. You ain't gonna listen to these white boys. He don't know how to see this properly. I'm telling you, in Skid Row, it's young threats where you gotta hold your head, buddy. And ain't nobody can say I put him in the jail. The police talk to me. I say, yo, I can't tell you. I told him, yo, I can't tell you nothing. LAPD can vouch for that. If them officers ain't dead from COVID-19, they can tell you. If I ain't seen nobody in a while, I say, hey, they might be dead from COVID. You don't know. Wherever you seen or interacted with, they might be dead from COVID. But look, man, look. Half of y'all New Yorkers with that weak pressure. You scared to go to Los Angeles. And that's all I'm saying. And that's how I beat you. Straight like that. That go for anybody in this building. If you ain't never lived in LA, then you wasting your time. Because how we gonna see it is, you haven't been where I've been to be me. Point blank, period. Whether you gay or straight or whatever else you are, I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about you and your experience in America. You ain't gonna go to Los Angeles. No, you gonna be here in New York, be a bum around here when you ain't getting challenged and everything like that. And you go to LA, they gonna listen, you ain't gonna be doing none of that stuff you doing here. No, you ain't. No. You ain't gonna be doing none of that, bro. Absolutely not, man. So listen, I don't let people even think you in my vicinity when I know you won't go to Los Angeles. That's how I beat a little lame New Yorker. Yeah, go to California, go to LA. You ain't gonna do it. So then I done it. And you haven't. So then how you on my level? Make it make sense. Talk intelligently. How are you on my level? I'm nationwide. You're local. You're a local guy. You're a local guy. And I don't care who's over there. They're local over here. They're scared to come to New York, and you're scared to go. If they're in LA, some of them scared to come to New York, and they're scared to come to Brooklyn, and you're over here in Brooklyn scared to go to LA. Okay? That covers it, doesn't it? That covers it, doesn't it? That covers it, doesn't it? These locals scared to go over there. You scared to go to LA. I got love in LA. Ain't no lame dudes getting no love in LA, bruh. I was getting love in LA, bruh. Did they tell you that part? Oh, see that? I see the white boy ain't gonna tell you, man. Women buying me t-shirts, buying me clothes. You know what I'm saying? I'm hanging around females hugging me and everything, looking out for me. On my birthday, acknowledging my birthday, giving me t-shirts and everything on my birthday. I had a birthday in LA, you know what I'm saying? Everybody acknowledged my birthday, man. Listen, man, come on, bro. Listen, bro. You will not get acknowledged like I got acknowledged in LA. You won't go there and people acknowledge your birthday. No. You'll be ducking off like an old head. You'll be ducking off like an old head, bro. That's all I'm saying. I'm talking facts. I'm talking facts where I got acknowledged on my birthday in Los Angeles. You know what I'm saying? Okay, females acknowledging me, black and white. Mexican woman looking out for me. Everything, bro. Listen. Until you do what I do, I don't see you. Point blank, period. You in a fantasy world. You playing fantasy football. You playing fantasy football if you think you in my world. And that go for the police. You couldn't do police work in LA. You couldn't go to LA and be a policeman. Yeah, you could be a police in New York. That ain't nothing. Go to LA where the gangsters are more hard and hardcore. Where everybody is considered a threat almost. Where you don't know if everybody got a gun on them or a weapon on them. You can't halfway take people seriously here, man. Go to LA. You can't. These police can't go to LA. Come on, stop playing. That's a 7 out. All these New York NYPD, you can't go to LA. You scared to. You'll be scared to, wouldn't you? Yes, you would. Keep it 100. Keep it 100 with the community. Keep it 100 with the community. You couldn't go to LA. You scared to go to LA. So you just gonna be a bum cop in New York. You scared to go to LA. This how the lion roars, buddy. I roar. All these lame police acting like you somebody around here. But the truth is, you can't go where I've been either. You can't go to LA, Los Angeles. Half of these police scared of it. So you gonna duck off around here and be running around Manhattan or something. You know what I'm saying? Running around New York. Let's go to LA. Go to LA and try to put pressure on people. You ain't gonna do, come on, man. Let's stop playing, bro. That's all I'm saying. I proved myself. That's the difference. When you got ranked, you talk about it. You know what I'm saying? You'll be talking about it too. If you went to LA and New York and all these places and you ain't get faded, you still came back in one piece, you'll be talking like me too. Don't judge it until, like I said, until you walk in somebody's shoes. You know, you go to LA and you got respect in LA and everything. You be talking the same way. Not that you did it for that reason, but I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? You'll be talking the same way. You done been here, you done been there, you done got love. You know what I'm saying? Not just you know what I'm saying, walking around. You done got love and everything and all of that, man. Yeah. Come on, stop playing with me. That's why I take no competitors if you local. If you local, you ain't even nationwide, man, me and you in two different leagues all together. You know what I'm saying? You ain't never fight nobody on the West Coast. You ain't never been through no conflicts on the West Coast. Stop playing with me. You ever been through a conflict on the West Coast? Come on, stop playing with me. That's what I'm saying. What would you say? You ain't never been through no conflicts in California. You ain't never really fought nobody from California. Not a whole community in California. But you trying to see me. Man, stop playing, bro. That's what I'm saying. You should have knew better. I ain't one of these old lame dudes around the way. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be messed up, bro. Listen, now up to date, man, listen. I'm sending money to tell California I'm sending $1 million down to Colombia. They're gonna be proud of me. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm sending $1 million down to Colombia, up to date now. What my enemies doing? What these enemies around here doing? These old East Coast niggas, huh? What they doing? What these East Coast dudes doing? Come on, stop playing, bro. Stop playing. Listen, buddy, you don't got me. You got yourself. You played yourself. Because God gonna be with me, buddy. If you ignorant, what do people call that? Now, in the black community, they even call each other ignorant niggas. If they, listen, I'm just saying, they call each other that. So it's different definitions. I mean, so depending on who you talk to. But my point is this, bro. This was my point. Just understand this, man. Just understand this. Just give me love because in Jesus' name, man. Y'all are rookies and amateurs, and I don't care what you do with that psychological stuff. You understand? Because out there in the real world, you ain't out there, are you? So you thought because I was laid back, I wasn't out there. Because I can rest after I just left California this year. So I'm up to date concerning California. Are you? No. When the last time you been to California? Oh, 50 years ago? You been to California 10, 20, 30 years ago? Well, I'm talking about the fresh 2025 California. You been there yet? You been there lately? Where everybody sprung out on fentanyl? 9 off without falling down? Listen, you ain't listen, buddy. Listen. And I'm sleeping on the streets. And I ain't go to a shelter one night. I slept on the streets the whole time. I slept on the streets of California every single night in the dark. Yeah, come on, man. Listen, don't play yourself, bruh. You know, because the truth is, you couldn't walk in my shoes, and you have not walked in my shoes. So I'm not one of these teenagers that's gonna let you play in my lane, and I know you ain't done nothing. Okay? Okay, listen, your game done ran out, bro. Take my kindness for weakness if you want to. Take my kindness for weakness if you want to, buddy. But I'm pretty sure you know what time it is. Okay, you ain't gonna get no fame. I ain't trying to be nice to nobody. I ain't trying to be. It's wartime. It's wartime, and that's my whole point. America's the enemy and it's wartime, guys. That's all it is to it. That's all it is to it. It's wartime. We're going to take the offering and put it into these different countries. Glory to God. Okay? You're not perfect. I'm not perfect. Listen, the Bible says what? A just man falls 7 times and rise up again, right? A just man falls 7 times and rise up again, right? Okay. So when you fall 7 times, you're gonna lose the crowd. We don't care about the crowd anyway. They ain't giving us no money. They ain't doing nothing for us anyway. That's 7 out. They ain't doing nothing for us, are they? Okay, so why we care about the crowd? Do you care about the crowd? I don't. Okay, so by the time a just man, the Bible says a just man falls 7 times and rises up again. By the time you fall 7 times in front of this community, they're not going to support you. But the Bible says a just man falls 7 times. By the time you cuss 7 times on the video, you done failed 7 times on the video, ain't you? Listen, don't worry about them. That's not your people. Your people is going to be the people that still pay you attention because they really walk this walk themselves, right? Right. They make mistakes themselves, right? That's all you trying to talk to anyway. You ain't trying to talk to these artificial, weak, Ned Flanders type of Christians. Because listen, man, half of them gonna fall off anyway, following behind America. They not built for this, man. They gonna follow behind America, be voting in America, still dealing with America. You can't be with America no more. They got gay and lesbian marriage in the whole entire country, in all 50 states. So how you gonna support on any level of politics or any level of government? How you gonna support it? They got gay and lesbian marriage in the whole country. So what part you supposed to support? As far as voting in the election process, what part did you can't vote on a local level or a national level as a real Christian? No, you can't. So while you might point out things like we kind of cuss a little bit, I'm pointing out that you ain't even on the path anymore. Because you now voting in America, you over there don't went rogue with America. You a rogue Christian over there voting in America. You rogue to me, you thought it was me, didn't you? You're the one rogue, buddy. Because they got gay and lesbian marriage. How you a real Christian and you voting on local or national level? Now imagine you trying to judge me and you still voting in America. Imagine that, bro. Imagine that. Take off the eye. Imagine that. Imagine that, buddy. Imagine that. That's all I'm saying, bro. Listen. A just man falls 7 times and rise up again. See, he still has his characteristics as a just man. It didn't say a hypocrite falls 7 times. It didn't say a false prophet falls 7 times. A just man, meaning he's still defined as a just man after falling 7 times. A just man falls 7 times and rises up again. See, by the time, like I said, that you fall 7 times, listen, you done lost the crowd. Don't worry about that. Because you a just man. You didn't need the crowd anyway. All they gonna be doing is trolling, especially if you make videos on YouTube. So you done got rid of all the trolls. They don't even take you seriously. Good. Listen, I ain't missing you one bit, buddy. I ain't missing you at all. No, I ain't missing you. I ain't missing you. I ain't missing you. I ain't missing you. All them trolls, all them American trolls. Let them go. Let them go. Go on over there. I don't need no distractions. I don't even need them to know what I'm doing, to be real with you. So I'm glad you don't take me seriously. Hey, they probably look at my icons on my videos. They don't take me seriously at all, do they? Hey, I got money in my hand. I'm getting rid. I'm putting that on the icon. You know why? Listen, I'm getting rid of all the religious people. Cause you see this, you gonna say, oh man, nah, that ain't no Christian right there. He got money on there like a thug, like a little rapper or something. That's what they gonna say, right? But you gotta put money in your hand eventually, don't you? You do, don't you? You got to put money in your hand eventually, just like I do. You might not hold it like this, but you got to put it in your hand, don't you? Yo, I'm getting rid of all these religious people. I don't want you to take me seriously. I mean, what you gonna do if you take me seriously anyway? I mean, what is it gonna profit me? It's not gonna profit me spiritually. I mean, cause you're religious. I'm just being real, bro. I'm just being real. I'm not being carnal. I'm being sincere, honest, authentic. That's what I'm being. I'm putting up money, yes sir, because I'm getting all these religious people off of me because you listen, I want it like that. Yes sir. It's a freedom. It's a freedom with removing all these religious trolls out your way, buddy. I'm telling, listen, don't listen. At first you're going to feel like, well, why they ain't over here? You know why they ain't over here? Because they don't take you seriously. They don't take me and you seriously. They either think we crazy, we ghetto, they think God's people, they think we carnal, we tripping and everything, we clout chasing. They gonna think all of that. Especially when I put money in a video, they gonna think I'm doing it for the wrong reason. I'm trying to show people. I'm trying to recondition you for you to see God's people need to be using this as a weapon against these Americans. It's no secret, they the ones against you. They the ones against you. Okay, so what's your plan? I'm fasting. I'm on a fast right now. I say humbly, I'm on a fast right now. I'm fasting for 7 days. The last fast was for 10 days before the other fast. I done did 31 days. 31 days of fasting since I've been in Brooklyn. I done did a whole month of fasting. I only been here 2 months. You do the math. You know what I mean? We not playing with letting people line us up, and I know these people busters. You know what I'm saying? I know that, man. We not letting these little witchcraft busters play in our lane, bro. That's what I'm saying. It's fading away. It's gonna fade away. Cause when it get real, they gonna be MIA. That rhyme, don't it? They gonna fade away. Cause when they get real, they gonna be MIA, man. Missing in action. Just in case you ain't think I knew what it meant. People think, oh, he don't know what he even said. Got me labeled super ghetto. It's not that, bro. It's not. I'm from North Carolina. I'm a sound like that to you. Now, see, if you from the South or you been in North Carolina, you gonna know. You know what I'm saying? It's more that than anything else. That part. But you labeled it as super ghetto. Really, I'm from North Carolina. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Now, see, when you put that in the mix of how I talk and how I carry myself, then you realize I'm not being as carnal as you thought I was. Now, am I? But you judged it wrong, right? You hear the accent and everything like that. You think I'm putting on or trying to pose, and I'm from North Carolina. This is my real accent. This is my real accent, by the way. I ain't new from ATL with the fake ATL accent. You know what I mean? This is my real accent. It's a little compromised because I went to the West Coast. It ain't Southern as it used to be. It was more Southern than this. But if you go out to different cities and different regions, you ain't gonna keep having the same accent. No matter how hard you try to stay Southern, you ain't gonna be able to do it because you bouncing off of everybody else around you that's from California. You gonna start. I'm gonna tell you something from experience. Your voice is gonna, in a funny way, you gonna form it to where you are. You know what I mean? That's what's gonna happen. You're gonna hear a million words, your accent gonna change after a million words, buddy. Basically. You know, you start interacting with the locals, your voice gonna change. But I still got a little Southern accent. Yeah, I'm about my father's business. You know what I'm saying? I suggest you take heed from the first time when people played with me when they thought they could, but they couldn't. Okay? And you can't play with me today. Because there are people look at you and they see you in a backslidden state, at least they think, right? And they'll think, well, we can play with him because he in sin. Okay, could you do that the first time? Could you do it the first time? You couldn't play with me in sin the first time. Even when I was backslidden, you couldn't play with me, could you? So what make you think you could do it today? Is my logic. That's my logic. How you think you can do it today? Okay, you can get mad all you want, bro. Like I like to explain to people. I could be way more angrier than all of you combined based on what I've been through. You can't muster up in reality the anger that I could project to your community. So it's funny to me when you try to act like you mad, even when it comes to what's happening to your community. I don't care. I really don't. And I still can be more angry than you on your best day. Okay, because it ain't no reason. You ain't got no real reason to be angry. I'm talking about to the real ones. It ain't no real reason. You know, these lames out here is the one acting like they got a hissy fit. They having a hissy fit. That's what we say in the South, right? You having a hissy fit. A hissy fit, huh? We don't care nothing about your hissy fit, bro. We don't care nothing about your hissy fit. You shouldn't have played. It's common sense. You shouldn't have played with people you ain't know. That's why we don't feel sorry for you. That's why the whole community waiting for you to do something against me. They're gonna tear you apart. I already know that. That's why you can't do nothing. Cause all them people out there just waiting for you to play with me. I know that. You ain't think I knew that, did you? But at the same time, I'm not depending on them. I'm depending on God. And I'm defending myself. And you know why I'm like that? Because even though they out there ready to defend people, they can't do it in here. I gotta defend myself. You understand me? And I do it quite well. You know what I'm saying? But that's why I always keep the principle, no matter what is around me, of defending myself. I defend myself. That's right. Because these people out here can't get to you in time, you know what I'm saying, with these lames in here. And vice versa. Whoever they hide behind, they ain't gonna be able to get to you in time. See, I'm very aware of altercations in small quarters. I'm that good. And in these little small quarters, buddy, I don't let my guard down for nobody. See, that's what deceive you. All this seem like it's a nice little place, and then you get a collision and you slip it. You know what I'm saying? You'll never see me slipping in a place like this. I already know what kind of energy in here. And people just waiting to start a problem. You know what I'm saying? They just waiting for you to, for where they feel like you did something out of pocket. They just waiting for that. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'm going to tell you something. I'm not the person to sit back. I'm not your child. I'm not the person to sit back for you to monitor and try to see. Now listen, bro, I'm a grown man. How was you when you was my age? That's how you figure it all out if you got a brain. Okay, you wasn't subject to nobody when you became a man, was you? You wasn't playing with nobody. It don't matter how old they are. It doesn't matter. It's about manhood. It's about respect. I don't care, because you old don't mean you walk around and getting all the respect and can disrespect another man because he a little younger than you. It ain't gonna work. It's never gonna work. And I define respect because I don't trust you to define it. I define disrespect, right? Because I don't think you realize how much you disrespecting people. All that fake pressure, that artificial lame pressure, that's, man, in the wrong city, that's a green light right there on everybody. No hesitation. People ain't waiting to see, oh, well, what that's gonna be. That's why I'm saying, man, New York, y'all behind as far as the streets go. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it ain't real people here. Of course, there's real people everywhere, in every city, in every metropolis in America. But as far as like cutting edge, like how these real dangerous cities, y'all ain't nothing like them. Not at all, man. And you ain't gonna be able to do nothing to prove it, because I already know you're not. You know how I know? Because I can go out here in the streets and I can tell the respect level, how low the respect level is. That's how I know it ain't a dangerous neighborhood. Because when it's a dangerous neighborhood, the respect level is 100. Because there ain't no room for error. None. Ain't no room for it. People in the in the bodegas holding their head straight. They ain't even looking at nobody because you can't. I know what it's like. I know what dangerous neighborhoods feel like. This is not a dangerous part of Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna let people play it like that because I know better. I lived in East New York. Right? Walking through all New Lights Avenue where the barber shop is, where the library is, and the graveyard right across the street from the library. I know about that part, buddy. Right down there in New Lots in Bradford, right over there, right? And I was walking around the neighborhood, out in the wild. In other words, out in the wild, where ain't nobody saying, "Oh, well, that's probably a shelter person." You think people care? If you violating people, they don't. They don't care. Ain't nobody going. And the way I carry myself, I didn't look like no shelter person. So ain't nobody gonna even think about that. They gonna look at violation or respect. You know, that's that. So if I got respect from East New York, can you imagine me coming over here on Utica over here, man, on this neighborhood? Can you imagine me? You listen to the police. That's what I'm telling you. Whoever it was, you listen to some of them people. Basically, you didn't know me. I lived in East New York, little buddy. I was walking around East New York, little buddy. Now you get the attitude. I lived in East New York, and I always had altercations everywhere I went. Mostly, I lived in Harlem. I lived in Staten Island, catching the ferries. I know all about that, little buddy. You thought you were dealing with a little peewee. I lived in Staten Island. They ain't tell you that. They ain't gonna tell you that, man. That's what I'm trying to show you. Why you think I'm like this? I lived in Harlem. I lived in East New York. I lived in Bed-Stuy. I lived over there at the Armory, over there on Atlantic Avenue. I was all over there. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm trying to tell you. Now you see me for who I am. I've been all around Brooklyn, man. That's why you think I'm like this? Think about it. Why you think I'm that confident? Why you think I carry myself like this, man? That's what I'm saying. That's common sense, man. You listen to these clowns, these old goofy clowns. That's what you listen to. That's why you in this situation you in. You listen to them clowns that caught up to me after all that had already happened. I had already lived in Bed-Stuy. I had already lived in East New York before these gang stalkers and Freemasons and all these people started playing games. I had already lived in East New York, Harlem, Staten Island, well, at least East New York, Bed-Stuy, and Harlem. By Staten Island, they was playing games, right? But at the same time, I still got my respect in Staten Island, and it was a good experience and all of that. But they were still playing games, testing me, sending people to me to send me to to go hang out with their family, see how I act with children. They was playing games in Staten Island, but I passed every test. You know what I'm saying? Just being the person I am. I'm not thinking about no children, you know. But my point is, man, I done been through so many different boroughs. You know what I'm saying? And some people, that's a bona fide New Yorker, they live in one borough their whole life. That part. Now imagine acting like I'm new to New York when some people don't even live but in one borough their whole life. I done lived in Brooklyn, Harlem, Staten Island, and Lower Manhattan, working a job and everything like a normal New Yorker. Working and everything. I done work for Ready, Willing, and Able. That's New York as it gets. People, if you ain't from New York, you don't even know about Ready, Willing, and Able. So I done work for Ready, Willing, and Able. Oh, they ain't tell you that. They ain't tell you I work for Ready, Willing, and Able. Wearing the blues and getting the trash and all of that. They ain't tell you that. Making money with Ready, Willing, and Able. Come on, man. Listen. That's what I'm trying to show you, buddy. I can talk any game you want. The basic game you want to talk, I can talk it. I can tell you about working here in New York. I can tell you about that. Did I work 5,000 years? No, I did not. But I can tell you about working here in New York. I can tell you about getting my respect in New York. That's what I'm saying. They keep acting like I'm fresh off the boat because they're going to tell you that to blind you to who I am, hoping you won't realize it or you won't get intimidated or that you won't see me for who I am, basically. That's basically it. They want you to see me for who I am. Who I am is a person that lived in Brooklyn, Bed-Stuy, all of that. I done seen Marcy projects. I done been down through there through Marcy Avenue. I done walked all down through Marcy Avenue, Fulton Street, Atlantic Avenue, all over there in Bed-Stuy, Nostrand and all of that. And nobody had a problem with me. Just imagine that. Nobody had a problem with you. And then these suckers try to come around like I'm on the chopping block. Man, you tripping. Listen, man, it's already too late. I lived in New York way before you came along. You might want to be careful out there because there's some people that might know me that way before you thought you knew me. I might know your family. I done been through the shelter system, seen hundreds and hundreds of people from New York. I might know your family. You don't even know it. You know what I'm saying? Your family gonna tell you to fall back. Oh, nah, I know him. Cool, dude, cool. Nah, because I got that distinguished face. People don't miss my face. I got that distinguished face. That's the good thing about having a distinguished face. You know what I'm saying? People gonna always remember my face. You know what I'm saying? Like, so people like, oh yeah, what's up, man? You know what I'm saying? So, that's all I'm saying, bro. I lived in Bed-Stuy. I done been down there by Marcy Avenue, Marcy Projects. I know I've been, I remember when at the corner of Fulton Street and Marcy Avenue, you had the Burger King on the corner right there. Then they put the TD Bank over there. Now, so I done been there in the past and in the present time. Now they got the TD Bank over there. See, people on the outside don't even know. You know what I'm saying? Some people in this neighborhood don't even know what I'm talking about. That's what I'm saying, bro. That's all I'm saying, man. So down there by Fulton Street and Marcy Avenue, you on across the street, right there at the corner, you got the bodega on the corner. Then you got the Burger King used to be right there. Then you got the TD Bank down there right now. I think that was stupid because they should have put that somewhere else because that was a good place for a restaurant to be right there to feed the people instead of a bank. What's more important, a Burger King with inexpensive food? Well, now it's not that inexpensive, but what was more important, a restaurant or a bank? Yeah, man, come on, man. People playing games, bro. Ain't nothing but Freemasons, I bet. How I figure that out? Little networking bastards. They networking bastards, bro. So, man, man, that's all I'm saying, bro. I lived, like I said, I lived in Bed-Stuy, right down the street from Marcy. Everybody in that neighborhood know about the Armory, the big old Armory shelter. See, some people from different boroughs don't even know what I'm talking about. So you ain't even gonna know them blocks and neighborhoods to even respect it. Then I tell people from Brooklyn, oh yeah, he was in the Armory. Oh yeah, okay, that's right down the street from Marcy, right there, exactly. You got the 4th Street, you got Atlantic Avenue, that's where it's at. You go down the block, you go past the gas station, you go past the Muslim, the mosque on the left hand side. They used to have a little computer room on that block right there with the Muslim place, the Muslim mosque. You go to the right, you got everything. You got all the whole strip. You got McDonald's, Papa John's, all through there. You got KFC, you got the grocery store, you got the little pizza shop on the corner across the street from the KFC and the grocery store. That's Nostrand right there. You go past that, you got Marcy Avenue on the left-hand side. You go straight, you got Applebee's, and then you got the grocery store up the hill, back in the cut. I know all about that, man. And then once you pass that grocery store, it's just basically the hood, basically. So that's what I'm saying. And I walked all through there. All through there. Ain't nobody ever challenged me. Ain't nobody ever say nothing to me. And that's what I'm saying. That's how you know who's really black. You know what I'm saying? They see me as a black man, bro. Like, ain't nobody gonna mess with me. You know what I'm saying? That's why I know. That's why I ain't worried about anything going on now, man. I already know what it is, man. I already know all the psychological games and all of that. I already know, bro. I already know. And we just guarded according to the war, according to what they already done the other time on these certain people and subjects and certain triggers on certain places where rappers have lived, and they trying to trigger on that in different ways. I'm gonna be guarded towards the war, or you threw it again, and I'm guarded towards that. That's how good I am, bro. I lived in New York. I'm sharp as a New Yorker. I'm strong as a New Yorker. I just don't talk about it all the time because all the disrespect that's going on right here in New York. But I could talk about New York. I could talk about being homeless in New York. I could talk about riding a train all night long because you got to stay because it's cold outside in the wintertime, being homeless, sleeping in the train station. I can tell you about that. I can tell you about sleeping in them train stations in the wintertime. I can tell you all about that. Where you vulnerable to the whole community sleeping on the train. You know what I'm saying? I done that. Sleeping on the train all night long. And I go to sleep all night too. Not 2 hours. I sleep on, man, I be sleeping on that train whole 8 hours. Cause I guess they be feeling good too, how the train be moving and everything. Man, I be knocked out on that train. So I could tell you about being homeless in New York and everything, man. That's why ain't no way in the world you finna act like I ain't never lived in no New York, or I'm just new to this, man. I'm new to it, and I know about the train and riding the train all night long and sleeping in the train stations and different train stations. And if it ain't right, you go get on the train and go to another train station. You know what I'm saying? And you see all the people, even on the other side of the train station, sleeping on the train station, sleeping on the benches, on all that. That's how you know it's almost over, man. You know what I'm saying? All this struggle and poverty and evil and stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's been going on. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Like, now you talk to these white boys, they act like I'm their little pet dog, and that's what I'm trying to show you. They don't know nothing about me, all about that. They gotta listen to you. They gotta listen to me like you're listening to me. They gotta listen to me and take notes. You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't really know. By the time they seen me going to certain places, it was already too late. I already got reputation. I already got respect and Bed-Stuy and all of that. Now, so you got more respect for the prophet. That's what I'm saying. Now you see the whole story. They trying to make me look corny like I'm on a tightrope out here walking around getting tested by everybody. Man, come on, man. It wasn't even like that. That's the lame games they playing now. Meanwhile, man, listen, I already walked through Bed-Stuy getting respect. You know what I'm saying? Blending in. That's how best way I put it. Blending in with the locals in Bed-Stuy and everything. And ain't nobody try me. Ain't nobody put no pressure on me or nothing. None of that kind of energy was going on. I was good. Working out at Prospect Park. I know all about that. I used to go there every morning. They had the little bathroom, warm my hands up. That's when I first came to New York. You know what I'm saying? I had a friend named Peggy, man. She used to meet me every day at the Prospect Park and yell in the bathroom, Marcello. She got me a big old jacket and everything for New York, because I came to New York. I wasn't even prepared for this cold. You know what I'm saying? And this lady, she befriended me, my first friend. You know what I'm saying? This lady was named Peggy, man. She stayed right over there in Bed-Stuy. You know what I'm saying? Older lady, nice light-skinned lady. She took me out to meet her family. She looked out for me. I took me to Chipotle. You know what I'm saying? Eating good with her, everything. She was cool people. You know what I'm saying? Her and her family, I met her family, everything. So see, I met real people that befriended me in Bed-Stuy and Brooklyn. And I went to church when I was over there. I had a Jamaican church I used to go to with a Jamaican lady, kind of over there near Prospect Park. You know what I'm saying? I used to go to church over there. So I came up here. I didn't go to the city of sin and fall and all of that. People act like that's what it was. Now, when I first came to New York, I was active in church. going to church and everything. Now, so many gang stalkers, I wouldn't trust going to no church. No. Too many Freemasons, too many investigators, too many haters, too many people following me around. I wouldn't even go to church. I'm already ready for that. All they're going to do is use the community against me. That's all they're going to do. So you'll say, don't let that stop you, but I ain't going to let somebody incriminate me, and I know I'm not doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't going to go into no church, and I know it's already a setup in the game. You feel me? Because one thing about some church people, they'll think collaborating with the police is the right thing to do, and sometimes it's not. But some Christians are just like police. You got to remember that. In these times ahead with these gang stalkers, some Christians are like the police in America. Okay? And you think that's your brother and sister in Christ, but they might be testing you, trying you, you know what I'm saying, trying to see if you a pedophile or see if you a racist person or trying to find some kind of contradiction. You know what I mean? And so the remnant, the real people of God, the remnant, we gotta walk alone. But see, yeah. So when I was in Bed-Stuy, I met a Jamaican. I went to a Jamaican church, and I had a Jamaican friend, and I took him to the church too. He was one of the first Jamaicans I met. He said, "Don't you know you're brilliant?" Cause me and him, I just be talking to him like I'm talking to you. And this Jamaican called me brilliant, man. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that was in Brooklyn before all the gang stalking came along. See, he didn't know I was a prophet. You know what I'm saying? I was just taking him to church. You know, and I wasn't saying I was a prophet because I didn't have any prophecies. Once I started getting prophecies, then that's when I put the title of a prophet on my name. But before that, you know, I'm just like I am now. It's a good servant of God, going to church, everything like that. You know, and so I took my Jamaican friend to church, and everything, and you know, I was going to church. I talked to the preacher, talked to the first lady, talked to the preacher of the church, everything, man. You know, so that's how I was when I first came to Brooklyn. I ain't come to Brooklyn trying to get down with a squad and all of this, and trying to be tough and all of that. I stayed true to who I was, who I am as a spiritual person. That's why I'm saying I've been like this for a long time. I've been spiritual for a long, very long time. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you listen to other people, you're going to be led astray. You're going to be corny. Think about it, man. How long you going to listen to other people that's ghetto, that want to see a show, that they want to see this? You know, if you're black, you already know what the energy is. People like to see a show. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just way too dangerous for the games that they playing. And that's just what it is. I'm just too dangerous to play the games that they playing. You know what I'm saying? You know, so, and whatever you heard, this is who I am. That's what I'm trying to show you. Now, if you stay stuck on retarded and cornball time, you on cornball time, okay, knock yourself out, bro. I just showed you who I was. I'd have lived in Bed-Stuy, East New York, Harlem. Harlem is as black as it get as far as New York. There's no place blacker, not even Brooklyn. Nah. Harlem is as black as it get to me. And every time I wanted to connect with black people, I always go to Harlem if I feel like I ain't been around no black people. You know what I'm saying? That's how you know I'm from the South. But the war done broke out, and now I'm not really worried about that. When I used to be, when my spirit was more open and I wanted to be, let's just say my spirit was more open, I go to Harlem to be around black people, to feel that camaraderie, that vibe, the black, you know, that connection with black people. I didn't really get that. Brooklyn's cool, like Bed-Stuy, but Harlem is better, you know what I'm saying, as far as that real soul black vibration and connection and camaraderie, you know what I'm saying? So that's another place I had no problems there. That's when I had gold. I had gold all in my ears in Harlem, because they got all them shops, so I had gold all in my ears. You know what I mean? That's when I had, that was real gold too. Gold all in my, on both ears. I had gold all in my ears when I was in Harlem. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know. So I bought gold and everything. I was chilling, man. That's what I'm saying. That's like if you're a cornball, man, and you just listen to other people, man, I don't see how you can't esteem yourself as corny for like in 2025. I don't see how. I don't see how you think you real, cool, whatever, culture, dark, evil. You none of that. It's corny. That's what it is. It's not evil. I done been around people who killed people, man. Like people that done done call bodies. More than one. I done seen different personalities of killers. When you don't know one, I can tell you it's different type of personalities. Where some killers cried when they killed somebody. More than one I done met that cried when they killed somebody. You know what I'm saying? They told me they cried when they killed somebody. That's how I believe it. That's why I believe it. And I was around those people. I befriended those people. I met their families. In both cases, in those both situations, two guys that cried when they killed somebody, I met their family, everything. So I done been around a killer's family. I'm one of them type of dudes. That's why I don't, the low level of the streets, all them little knucklehead kind of dudes hanging out, man, I'm way beyond that, bro. In my own opinion, I'm way beyond that. You know what I'm saying? I just spin my wheels a lot in this country trying to do certain things with the music. That's what made me spin my wheels and made me move around and not get established as much as I did, because I was just trying to try different stuff, trying to see if I could get a break, you know, as far as this music. But once I left that alone, man, you know, back to real life, back to, some people never adjust if you're an artist to, if you didn't make it, you know, you move on, you know, you start living real life. But everybody always want me to do the music, but you know, I'm kind of beyond it now, because I don't really believe in what's going on in the music industry in the world, you know, in this country. I couldn't make music for America. It wouldn't make sense to me, because I'm not for America like I used to be. So I wouldn't even know really what kind of music to make I wouldn't know how to make an audience or cultivate an audience, because I'm not for America. So the only people gonna gravitate towards me is people that don't rock with America, you know. And all these people, they're too coward to stand away from America and take what come with it. You know, I done took what came with it. Let's keep in mind, let's update ourselves. Let's stop acting like it just happened. You know, I done took what came with opposing America. I already done took the punches. I done took the beatings. You know what I'm saying? And I don't get respect for that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, you ain't gonna stand out on your own, man, because you too scared, especially when you see what happened to me. You too scared to stand against America. And now I'm willing to die in my position. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna stop. It's never gonna stop. Okay? That's how dedicated I am. I'm one of them people. I'm going all the way. I'm going all the way, buddy. Whether I live or die, I'm going all the way. And that's that. That's how I'm gonna live my life to the rest of my life, against these people, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Because they went too far playing around me. That's what the problem is. They played with me way too long. You know what I'm saying? And that's what a corny old white boy gonna do. White American, that's what the corny old white boy gonna do. And then when things get real, his smile gonna wipe away. You gonna wipe away his smile with the realness, right? Now you're looking goofy. Now you're looking goofy. You know what I'm saying? And that's all it is. I don't need nobody to vouch for me. I vouch for myself. I show you everything, every place I went, and you still can act like that don't mean nothing, then something's wrong with you. Something is wrong with you, because that's all I really need, if that makes sense, for the level I'm on. You know what I'm saying? That's all I need, bro. You know? So, whatever you heard, I don't care about it. Okay? What you need to listen to now is who I am right here today. Okay? I'm working with South America. I'm with Russia. I'm with China. I'm with North Korea. I'm with Iran and Lebanon. And like Farrakhan said, I don't let America pick my friends and my alliances. America will try to pick your friends and alliances. That's what Farrakhan said. and he's right. They'll try to tell you who you can affiliate yourself with. See, I used to listen to a lot of Farrakhan messages. Even though I'm a Christian, in 2012, I started listening to Farrakhan in March 20. I remember when it happened, like March 2012, a little bit before that. But like early 2012, I started listening to Farrakhan like on a serious level. You know what I'm saying? And really listening to his messages. So I'm one of them type of dudes. Even though I'm a Christian, I do listen to Farrakhan when he do a message more times than not. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I listen to all the messages when he was younger and up to date. You know what I'm saying? So I take in consideration a lot of things he say about America, which is basically America's an enemy. You know what I'm saying? This is the part that people don't take from Farrakhan, is that America is an enemy. They are, man. They are, man. And it's been like this for a long time. So see why you think, you know, I'm butthurt or whatever, man. I've already had teachers like Farrakhan, man, that already had me on the path where I felt like America's kind of the enemy already. You know what I'm saying? And I take responsibility for my own feelings. You know, I'm not blaming him at all. He just confirmed. See, me as a Christian, I'm already going to feel like this is not for a Christian anyway. This country is not for no Christian anyway, right? And so I started listening to Farrakhan. And basically, it just was kind of like this confirmation, basically, of like just me being separate from America for spiritual reasons, you know. And then it was more in depth to where I understood it was for also these people were enemies because of your nationality. I mean your ethnicity. You know, for your ethnicity. So I started listening to Farrakhan, Malcolm X. That's all I don't listen to Martin Luther King Jr. because he comes from Freemasons. You know, they put a whole bunch of information together and it don't make sense. They take information from here, there, all these different places and then try to put it together and it's not applicable to America. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, Martin Luther King Jr. used the Gandhi's approach, the nonviolent Gandhi approach to the Americans, and that only worked for India. It did not work for America. You can't use Gandhi's approach in America with these racist people that don't care if you're nonviolent or not. They still gonna attack you. Okay, so then you can't use Gandhi's approach from India here in the United States. You can't use it. Malcolm X may have had respect for Gandhi, but he didn't try to use Gandhi's approach. He used what was applicable to America. I feel the same way, man. You can't use Gandhi's approach for a whole nother country and culture and everything based on what was going on there. You can't. You got to use what works here. That's why I didn't get into Martin Luther King Jr. But fun fact, I went to Martin Luther King Jr.'s house when I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? I went to Martin Luther King Jr.'s house. My grandmother took me there when I was a kid. She took me to Martin Luther King Jr.'s house. And so for people that have been there, they know about the low beds to the ground. That's what I remember more than anything, these low beds, and then the cold heater in the basement. So yeah, I went to Martin Luther King Jr.'s house when I was a kid. I went to the Underground Railroad Mall in Atlanta. I've seen that too. You know, so yeah, I went to Martin Luther King Jr.'s house when I was a kid. But like I said, I just don't agree with his as I grew as a man, I don't agree with his philosophy. Yeah, so you can find some white people that you never been to Martin Luther King Jr.'s house. You know, you never stepped foot into the same building and house where he lived, and I have. You know what I'm saying? So that tells you what kind of family I got. Well, don't. Well, they took the time to take me to Martin Luther King Jr.'s house. They could have rolled right past that in Atlanta. It's a million things to do. And even back then in the 80s and the 90s. Well, that was the 90s. It's just a lot of stuff to have you could do. Atlanta always been like that. But yeah, I went to Martin Luther King Jr.'s house, so I can actually say you could say the prophet been in the same house as Martin Luther King Jr. See how it's adding up. But at the same time, like I said, I don't support. See, if you listen to me long enough, it all makes sense, don't it? But I don't support the Gandhi approach, the non-violent approach. Do I believe in pro-violence? I believe in pro-protection, in pro-defense of one's own life above anything else anybody talk about. So that's why I go with Malcolm X, Farrakhan. I go with those. Those are the two Muslims that I will always respect. You know what I'm saying? But so I'm one of those type of people. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Christian, definitely. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe in mixing religions, but if I can listen to somebody and receive, because see, Farrakhan, the truth is, man, like, he didn't really just teach from the Quran and just talk about the Quran. He did teachings and talked about black people's position in America. He wasn't really even, the messages I heard, it wasn't really a lot of references to the Quran. Not like passage after passage after passage. And he just really had like this Malcolm X approach. You know what I mean, as far as our geographics and where we are and everything like that. And Malcolm X didn't really go through these passages of the Quran. They talked about real issues in the community. And see, it makes you wonder if those people have been the prophets the whole time, because even though I'm a Christian, I can't just give you passages of just the scriptures. I teach the scriptures, but I have to also talk about, in addition to that, I have to also talk about these real problems and these real things going on. And I think those are the prophets. They can't be boxed in to just being a preacher, per se, and just stick to passages and just talk about passages. They got to talk about these real things, because that makes sense for a prophet. He got to talk about these relevant things, and he got prophecies that's in the real community, which is going to lead him to talk about the real community. So I think one of the signs of being a prophet is that you have to talk about the present day situations and issues in the community. You got to. You can't just be boxed in to just talking like a regular preacher, just with just scriptures and just a little topic, and and that's it. You got a prophet gonna be riffing off of what's going on in the community. You know what I'm saying? And riffing concerning that, and that's just how I see it. That's why I think maybe even Tupac was a prophet, because he couldn't be boxed in to just being a rapper. His case was he couldn't just be boxed into being a rapper. He was talking about all this stuff in the interviews, same pattern, right? Talking about all these things going on, when he's supposed to be really kind of talking about music, when you really think about it, or hip hop and that lane, like, but he talking about all this other stuff because he was a prophet, that most likely. You know what I'm saying? He was born, that means he was born a prophet. It's a difference. You know what I'm saying? Some people are born prophets. You know what I mean? I think he might have been. DMX, same thing. I think he might have been born a prophet too, because the sign is you can't stay boxed into whatever you're doing. DMX couldn't stay boxed in to just rapping. He did a prayer on every album. See, it don't match just street life, which means he was probably born a prophet. That's what it was. and you think they're just doing something, or they just I don't. Some people don't really know how to. It doesn't register right with people. They don't know how to accept it because they feel like you're not really living that, right? But what it is you're born a prophet, and that's gonna come out. It's trying to come out, and some people don't take heed to the call. You know what I'm saying? And I just happen to do it. You know, just like many of these other rappers, they talk similar to me, but what happens is they don't take the full call to being the prophet. You really probably are a prophet and you don't know, because you haven't been around spiritual people. You've been around religious people. A spiritual person gonna say you're probably a prophet because besides your vocation of the obvious, you don't stay on subject of that. You don't stay in that, and you're over here talking about God and talking about the world and all these things going on in the world. See, that's a sign of a prophet to me, because you're paying attention to all these things around you and everything like that, and you're giving these advices, if you will, about these things. And that's usually a sign that you're a prophet, probably. You're born one, you know? Because they don't all go the right way. You know what I'm saying? They don't all do the right thing. That's just the real world, you know? You could be a prophet, but you got free will. And the devil gonna offer a prophet a place in his world. That's what he gonna do. He gonna offer you something over there. With a prophet, he gonna offer you something over there to keep you over there. Whatever it is. He gonna offer you all this stuff over there. That's what he do. Because he can see who's a prophet. He can see your aura, your energy. And he can see the high-ranking angels that surround your life, you know, and he determines most likely you're a prophet or on that caliber. And then he just gives you all these opportunities. If you notice, a lot of those guys got a lot of opportunities. But you might think it was a blessing, but it wasn't. It was to keep them away from being the prophet. It was to keep them away from it. So that's why I'm glad that at least I got to live like everyone else should have lived. Like Tupac should have lived, like DMX should have lived, like a lot of these guys, even Kanye West, you know, he could be a prophet too, because he's very outspoken. You know what I'm saying? The first time I heard Kanye say something outspoken was, you know, George Bush don't like black people. Something like that. Like on international TV. That's what caught my attention. And him and DMX got together with, you know, see, that's just like Nas probably too. Maybe Nas too. Any of the people that kind of stick out with like this extra spiritual inclination, that's spiritually inclined, man, a lot of times they're probably prophets, man, because it's easy for everybody else to just go this way and just not say nothing. Even if you feel like you know what's going on, most people ain't just gonna, you know, most homies ain't gonna say nothing. Because they know they living the way they living, they living the life they living, and then they gonna feel like that's a contradiction. Why even talk about God? Because I'm not living it. You know what I'm saying? That's how most people gonna feel. You know, I'm not living that way. Why even go too deep into it? But a prophet can't help it. Even though they doing what they doing, all the stuff they doing, they still can't help it. They still gonna be talking about God. They still gonna be talking about the world. See, that's the sign of a prophet right there. They just won't stop talking, you know? And that's just from experience, like from understanding what a prophet is. And you got people that, where it's different higher calibers of prophecy and prophets. But you will never know really if they don't go into it. You know what I'm saying? Because they ain't gonna get no real prophecies like they supposed to if they don't play their position. That's why they die in tragedy all the time. Look at all the people that I mentioned. Look at them. Look at all the ones I mentioned. Because the devil knew who they was, man. It's no way in the world you can't tell me like some of these people that went into the music and all of that, they wasn't prophets, or they wasn't special to God, and they didn't have any calling for God. See, we can't see it like that because we so used to seeing the brand of who they are. That's what's in our mind. We can't see Tupac as a Christian. But that's how he was supposed to be. And can you imagine if he was a preacher? Man, it would have been crazy, man. Just so real, you know what I mean? He gonna be DMX gonna be coming to his church. Come on in here, X. This my brother. Can you imagine Tupac and DMX bouncing off each other? Them dudes would have been like brothers, bro. Straight up brothers. Straight up brothers. They would have been like brothers, man. You know what I'm saying? DMX and Pac. They would have been like brothers. And then the thing about it is, man, like in DMX's house, he had this huge picture of Pac on his wall, man. So, but I like how he carried himself. He ain't really he ain't do like the rest of the rappers. He ain't really talk too much about Tupac really, or reference to him. He could have easily said he was like the new Tupac. He could have nobody wouldn't have said nothing because just how authentic he was, real. And the spirituality, all that together, nobody wouldn't have took that from him if he said it. But he never really said it. He could have said it more than anybody else because he filled the void for that Tupac energy. Like DMX is the one that filled that void. Like in every dynamic of Tupac, DMX is the one that filled the void. Mm-hmm. Talk about God, you know, got a good heart, you know what I'm saying? He was the only one that really could fill that void, bro. Like, you know, so. And the thing about it, both of them could still be alive. That's the bad thing about it, man. That's the real bad thing about it. So, I just pride myself on, man, going the right way. Like everybody's supposed to have done. Like these guys like that were supposed to do. Because once they start talking about God, man, they were supposed to be with God, man. You know what I'm saying? Pac and DMX. Both of them talking about God like that. They were supposed to be with the Lord. That's how I see it, man. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't meant to be over there. They wasn't meant. It's two sides, man. It's good and evil, man. And when you talk like that, man, you born with that. You're born that way. Ain't no way in the world you're going to be over there in total darkness talking about God. Think about it. Like I said, most of the homies, man, they going to be like, they ain't probably trying to hear it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not how they living. And they don't really care about it. You know what I'm saying? So how does this person have this passionate feeling towards God, but they ain't really got no connection? Where they really living for God. How does that happen? Because I think because they was born prophets and it's coming out. You know what I'm saying? Once they understood the concept of God, just like a prophet, you ain't gonna let it go. Just like a musician, a person born a musician, once you get the concept of music, you ain't gonna let it go. It's the same thing with being a prophet. Once you understand God, you don't let it go like everybody else. You latch on, no matter if you're living right or not. You know, so man, yeah, you know, that's why I just pride myself on, like I said, in the right way. I pride myself on going the right direction. You know what I'm saying? I don't need an audience. I ain't worried about no audience. You know what I'm saying? I'm just glad to be in the ranks of the Lord. Hallelujah. I'm just glad to be among the ranks of the Lord, because I know people mad at me anyway. I mean, the Americans hate me anyway, because everybody played with my life, and now it done backfired and became something else, and people are mad as a result of that. So they ain't gonna give me no views and no likes because of that. They trying to do that on purpose. That's okay. I ain't worried about it. I'm smart enough to know they doing it on purpose, though. I know they don't want to watch the videos, but they wondering about my progress, and they wondering what I'm doing. They wondering how it's coming along over here. But you know, like I said, some people can't wait for me to put this $1 million down in Colombia. So that's really the real energy right now, man. Like, People just let me do what I want to do because back up to the present time, people just let me do what I want to do because they see how much problems these people caused, you know, and they just let me do what I want to do, you know. And what I want to do is put $1 million down there in Colombia in South America. I got half of it. I'm just waiting for like just a little bit more. That's all. And I'm about to send some more money to Colombia to next week anyway, cause I'm getting some late Christmas money. I'm getting some late money that I was supposed to get for Christmas, and that's gonna be over $100,000 down there in Colombia, on top of the $1 million I'm about to give. Cause this half of it right here. You know what I'm saying? More than half actually. And yeah, so either way it goes, it's gonna even out where, you know, I got what I need, you know. But next week, what's today? Saturday, yeah. Next week, it's gonna be like I'm gonna be fasting, which that's why I think God done it, cause now that I'm gonna be fasting, I'm gonna fast up until the time that that money gonna probably drop. You know what I'm saying? Cause I'm gonna be fasting up until Thursday, next Thursday. So I'm doing a whole week fast. I'm about 2 days in. So one more day, my body will be good. You know what I'm saying? I feel pretty good though. I feel pretty good. It's not too bad, cause I think I kind of relaxed a little bit on the sugar this time around, cause I was drinking sugar water. I'm from the South. Sugar water. You know, this time around I didn't really drink during my times where I wasn't fasting. I didn't really drink a lot of sugar water, so my body ain't really screaming for like sugar as bad as the last time. Cause that's what happened if you drink coffee, or you especially if you drink coffee, fasting is gonna be, you're gonna feel it, cause you used to drinking that coffee and that sugar. You're gonna feel it though. You know what I'm saying? But like, I'm gonna be drinking coffee next year. I'm glad to say. I went 2 years without drinking coffee. And I'm a real coffee drinker. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I give God praise. You know, I had to get in the trenches and I had to do that, but I'm gonna give myself a break on the coffee. Cause I wanna get back to drinking some coffee in a little bit, cause it gives me energy and it peps me up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I like that extra pep, you know, especially that I'm getting a little older. I like that extra pep, you know what I'm saying? Drink some coffee, you feel that extra energy. So, you know, I like Folgers, but I'm gonna have to pick some different coffee because I think I'm fasting Folgers. But yeah, I'm ready to get back to that, drinking my coffee and everything in the morning and everything, and that's gonna be good. But I'm doing a lot of fasting even next year, cause see, I have lifelong fastings and I have yearly fasts where I fast annually for a year, certain items, you know. So I'll fast things for 1 year and then come back off. I've been doing that lately for the past 3 years. I've been doing annual fastings, which means I might fast meat or eggs or for a year, and then I'll come back and eat it the next year. So I got a lot of different type of fastings that I'm doing, right? And I got to do all these fastings to cover my bases, man. If they tell you about me fasting against certain communities and everything like that, the reason why I'm doing that is because no one wants to admit it and be 100 like me. It came to that point, and that's that. Okay, if you use all these people against me, okay, and I don't know how to put it together, but you're using all these different people, and they come from one ethnicity. What you think I'm gonna do? I'm gonna fast against that ethnicity. I supposed to. That's being real. Now they go out there and tell you what I'm doing. They gonna go tell you what I'm doing. Now imagine that. Me being a prophet. Them telling you what I'm doing. That's how corny this has been the whole time. They telling you what I'm doing and who I am. And I'm a prophet. That's all I'm saying, bro. So even when it come to me fashioning against certain ethnicities, that's not, imagine that even working. If I got malicious racist intent, imagine that even working. That's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. And so that's that. That's basically it right there. That's all you need to know. It ain't gonna work if I'm racist and I'm fasting against America. I mean, against ethnicities, and it's a malicious intent. It's not gonna work, buddy. What happened is like I told you. You know, these people, these different ethnicities, the secret societies, the Freemasons use these different ethnicities against me. And no one wants to take them. They think they didn't have to answer to anybody. And so it went as far as it did. And no one wants to take the blame. You know? They want to make me out of the fool, out of the clown that's supposed to be the scapegoat for the whole situation. While I'm supposed to take the whole blame for what's going on. You know what I mean? And so people throwing rocks and hiding their hand. You know what I'm saying? Nobody don't want to fess up and own up to what position they played. And everybody know they was taking money from the Freemasons. They was taking gift cards. I heard about it 4 years ago. This was 4 years ago. That's what I'm trying to show you. So much stuff that happened. They had the black community gang stalking me for gift cards. They were handing out gift cards to the community in Jamaica and Queens. They were handing out, which was probably Target, cards for Target, because that was the main department store over there. So imagine, it's Target over there on Jamaica Avenue, right? So most likely, the gift card obviously was from probably Target. They were giving people gift cards at Target for probably over $100 to gang stalk me and to set up this gang stalking stuff. Okay, that's what they was doing 4 years ago against me, just me. And somebody told me about it, because I'm gonna always have somebody on my side. I don't care what you do. I don't care how many people against me. Once somebody really see my spirit and know I'm innocent and know I'm 100, somebody gonna be on my side. More than one. More than one was telling me that's supposed to be on their side, telling me how I know that then. How I know they passing out gift cards. Because one of their own decide to tell me what it was, man, and give me the heads up on what was going on. You know what I'm saying? I'm always have somebody, a person like me, I'm always have somebody on my side. Ain't no way in the world. Because these clowns would think you could turn everybody against me. It ain't going to happen. Because I'm going to have somebody on my side. I'm telling you. And they are going to inform me. They're going to give me intelligence about what's going on. So I found out that they was handing out gift cards and handing out money to gang stalk me and everything like that. I was paying attention. So with that being said, man, I had to do what I had to do. I had to curse those who were cursing me, bro. You know what I'm saying? Got the right way. In God's way, I had to curse these people. You know what I'm saying? But if you listen to other people, clowns, they gonna act like I got it out for somebody. Now imagine you forming that opinion, knowing these people played with my integrity and knowing these people was out here. Now imagine you looking at it like that yourself when you know these people played with my integrity. Imagine you thinking that I got it out for somebody after they done played with my integrity. Look at that. You know what I'm saying? Playing with my integrity and then acting like I got it out for you after you done played with my integrity and try to assassinate my character. That's what I'm talking about, man. So with that being said, I covered my bases. Once I seen all these people mobilized against me, Once I seen all these people mobilize against me, I felt the need to protect myself like any human being would. And so that's where it's coming from. Okay? And like you wouldn't, I'm not stopping until I see that energy out there stop. If it stops, then I would consider stopping. But I'm not going to stop if that's still moving the way it is out there. As long as I see it moving like that, why would I stop? And it's working on top of that. Why would I stop? Okay, so you can classify my offering as against a certain group of people. That's not accurate. Okay, they gonna say all these point dexters out there is gonna, paint these pictures that fit a narrative to make you question me, right? My offering is not against, at this point, well, all the time. It's never been against any ethnicity, right? This offering represents an attack, spiritual, against those who have opposed me collectively here in America. That's the best way to tell you. Okay? Which anybody's going to do that. And that's what it is. That's all it is. Now, if you want to label it something else, hey, knock yourself out, buddy. But this is what this is about. This is about these Americans who opposed me, and this is my response. I'm putting $1 million down there in Colombia. I already done put $500,000 down there, and you ain't seen the end of that. What's already going on. That's why I can take a little break anyway. As far as giving. Because usually, with this amount of money, I would just kind of go ahead and put it in the mailbox. I almost wanted to. I thought about it a couple times just to get something going already. But then, what really made me not use that tactic was, I know I got some Christmas money coming. And I'm going to put that down in Colombia for the time being. Until I get the other part of this money. I'm going to take the Christmas money. See, this is where the proof is in the pudding. When you start using your own Christmas money. Because they're going to say that's just EBT money. That's easy to throw away. Well, I ain't throwing it away. But I'm also using, and I've been consistent with that as well, using my Christmas money and everything. That's the truth. That's the proof in the pudding right there, buddy. I'm using my birthday money and the Christmas money. I've been doing that for, I would say about since 2022, I think. 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025. For the past 4 years, I've been using Christmas and birthday money. For the most part, at least 3 to 4 years for sure. For the offering. Just like this. I take the whole thing. As a matter of fact, for my birthday this past year, I got me a little something, some little pizza. I made sure I got me a little pizza for my birthday, and I took the rest and put it in India and Houston, Sunnyside, Houston. People that's from Houston know about Sunnyside. I heard that's one of the most dangerous parts. But I had a church. I got a church down there in Sunnyside, Houston. In Houston, Texas, Sunnyside, right? I sent a little something, just a little something. But it's always a sacrifice. If it's something, it's never just nothing. It's always something. But I sent something to Sunnyside, Houston, Miami, and in India for my birthday. I didn't take that money and do nothing else with it. I could have got more food. I could have got more little things, little snacks or whatever. At minimum, I could have got more little snacks. I used my own birthday money for certain ministry in Houston, Sunnyside, Houston, Miami, and India. So So If you think I'm just taking money that's not my own, and I won't spend my own money on doing the same thing, I mean, listen, any money coming through my hands, that's how my mentality is these days. Any money passing through my hand is going into God's kingdom and to fight this war, to fight this spiritual war. This is where it's at. Okay, this is why I take the time to even put money in the video, because I want people to just miss me with the religious stuff, for real. Because people hear that I'm a prophet, and they'll flock to you in this religious fashion, and I don't want none of that energy around me. So I want people to miss me. If you're religious, listen, I will not miss you. Okay, we in the last times, we in the last days. It ain't no time for no religious people. It's time to get in the trenches. It's time to finish this war. It's a war between good and evil, and you gotta be crazy if you think America is a good community. So then what is it? It's an evil community. That's what it is. Okay, that's common sense that's gonna happen in one of the most evil countries in the world. What you think it is right now? It's an evil community. That's what it is right now. That's all it is. And you're not going to change that. Okay? They became our enemy. They are secretly, keyword, secretly opposing us. When they got many plants, they got even Christian Freemasons, which is not, that's an oxymoron, but they got Christian Illuminati. Anybody talking about Jesus, some of them people are Freemasons and Illuminati. I done caught on to it. They gonna think they can have Jesus too. Think about it. That's why you gotta read between the lines. Some people kind of quirky, kind of weird, lustful. You know what I'm saying? I see some of these girls with they bra strap showing on one side. Like, how can you can't be no Christian. That ain't, listen, man. Let me explain something with that I can't stand that little trend where women wear they shirt off their shoulders and all of that, and they got their bra strap showing. Let me explain something about that, man. It don't matter how cool you are, how cool you think you are. Ain't no way in the world you as a Christian woman can have your bra strap showing and all of that like that's cool. Ain't nothing cool about that. And then be the main one talking about some weirdos is stalking you and everything. Look how you dressed. Imagine what he's thinking when he sees that. That you're not too far from having sex. Well, you're not too far from thinking about it. That's what he probably thinks. Bra strap showing and all of that. That's Christian Illuminati. That's what it is. It took me some time to figure it out, man, because I was like, man, what's wrong with this? Then I realized, oh, that's Christian Illuminati. That's Christian Freemasons. That ain't no real Christians. See, what they think is they can have God. They can have God as even Illuminati. No, you can't. No, you can't. But I done caught on to you. So let me slow down right here. A lot of these people that you see in these videos they say they Christians, man, that's Illuminati, bro. That's Illuminati. If they ain't listen, this is how I would gauge it right here. If they are not talking about these gang stalkers and they don't choose their side and they don't say they oppose Freemasons and Illuminati, we ain't rocking with that, man. You got to make your alliance clear, bro. I make my alliance clear, and I tell you who my opponents are, and I don't care. As a prophet, you ain't gonna be in suspense about whether I'm a man of God or I'm Illuminati or Freemason. You ain't gonna be in no suspense about that. I'm gonna tell you from day one, I am not Freemason, and I am not Illuminati, and I am not in some pro-black organization either. I'm not that either. You know what I'm saying? I am a Christian for real. You know what I'm saying? And I don't affiliate myself with any other groups of people. Okay? The reason why I wouldn't think there's a such thing of a Christian Freemason, because Freemasons are too affiliated with all different types of belief systems. And ain't no Christian gonna be affiliated with an organization that has all these different types of belief systems, and that just covers also Illuminati. They ain't no, cause they ain't gonna be just Christian. So then a Christian couldn't have nothing to do with it. According to the scripture, how can two walk together lest they agree? What communion does light have with darkness? You can't have all these different belief systems and be in a group and a Christian gonna affiliate themselves with it. Nope, because that's the first thing they're gonna pick out. All these different belief systems. Nope. I serve one God. Okay, I don't know all this other stuff and all these other people. Nah, I don't affiliate myself with that. And that's how I can explain it intelligently, like how there's no such thing of no valid Christian Freemason or Christian Illuminati. No, because of that. They have tons of different belief systems. There ain't no way in the world a Christian can be affiliated with that. But you can see them try on YouTube. Ain't no way in the world. Ain't no way in the world a Christian woman gonna be having her shoulders down. I know the little trend, but when you become a Christian, the first thing you're gonna think, that's a little inappropriate. You ain't gonna have no shirt off your shoulders with bra straps showing on one side and all. Come on, man. It look like you almost got raped. Like you got away, but somebody pulled your shirt down. And I'm not poking at being raped or nothing like that as a game, but it looked like they got roughed up a little bit. Maybe, so I know I'm getting old, man. Some of these girls look like they got roughed up a little bit. You got away, barely got away. You got your shirt down and you looking like you got roughed up a little bit. That's the new trend. I keep up. I know what's going on. Girls be wearing their shirts off their shoulders and stuff. But then when the bra strap is showing, that's just what got me. Nah, I'm cool on that. It was okay when it was like a jacket. The jacket coming down. But the shirt, when the bra strap is showing, nah, I'm cool. Nah, that's not. I wouldn't want my woman looking like that. And God wouldn't want you looking like that as his companion, as his servant. No. It's too much confusion in that. You know how many times I like to just take my shirt off and do a video? I've done it before. I got videos in the past, but I've grown. I've grown as a person. I would love to take this stuff is hot, what I got on right now. But I suffer through that in order and not have no shirt and walk around here with no shirt on. And lust and women lusting or it brings confusion. You know what I'm saying? It's a distraction. It's not a good distraction. So I've even grown as a person where I'm masculine enough to take my shirt off and make a video and not be thinking about that and not be trying to provoke somebody to lust after me, where I'm not even thinking about it as a masculine guy, but it can be a distraction for other people. So I practice what I preach. Right now, I would really like to have this jacket off, right? The only reason I got it on is because I don't want to project that. I don't want to project myself without my shirt on. Because I can tell you when I was here in New York, I'm sitting on the block with no shirt on, standing outside with but when I'm doing, I don't even know if I would do that no more. I don't know. I've grown a lot, man. You know what I'm saying? But for right now, I'm not doing that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'll take my shirt off when I stop the video. That's what I'm gonna do. But while I'm rolling the video, you ain't gonna see my body like that. You know what I'm saying? So, we gotta have more integrity, man. Like, cause the Muslims don't have no respect for most of these Christians, because you look like the world. You look like these people out here. You know what I'm saying? And what man would want a woman where people can see the bra straps and everything. That's the first thing a man gonna be talking about. That's the first thing a real man gonna be. Oh, baby, why your bra strap showing like that? You come out better not even having a bra on. If you're gonna have it down like that, it's just the distraction. It would be like if you didn't have the bra strap, the person would just look past your shoulders and kind of not think nothing about it. Right? I'm not saying do that, but it's more of a distraction when you can actually see the bra strap because he's thinking about your bra. That's just how men think. So, man, listen, man, that's why I say you have to date a woman that wants to live for God. You don't bring no woman into your life if she's not living for God, because she's gonna be miserable. And you're gonna be miserable trying to make her live for God. You gotta find somebody that already wanna live like that. That's why it's so much harder for us. We gotta find two forms of compatibility. Are we compatible as personalities? And are we compatible as Christians? And there's different levels of Christianity that you have already embarked on and you're not there anymore. And you're on a higher level of Christianity. And you date this person where they kind of struggling and they was like you 2-3 years ago. It's not going to be good. You're going to have frustration. And then add in spiritual warfare that you're going through in this spiritual war of gang stalking. And they on lower levels of Christianity. It's not going to work. So we got to find, as men of God, we got to find 2 points of compatibility. Compatibility as persons and compatibility as Christians. You know what I'm saying? And that's what makes it so much harder for us to find a person that can be in our life. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, man, the time is now for us as Christians to give our offerings outside this country. Bro. It's time. You know what I'm saying? You got outside the country. South America is good. Colombia is good. Egypt is good. England is good. Poland is good. You know what I mean? All over there, Far East is good. And look at the exchange value. When you look up, when you find the churches you want to give to outside the country, look at the exchange value, which means, so for example, if you're sending 500, let's say you want to do 500. So you sending $500 to Colombia. Go Google how much is $500 in Colombia currency, and do that for each country. How much $500 is in Egyptian currency, and they're gonna tell you the value, and you're gonna be shocked. But you gotta go look at AI though, because it's gonna give you the all selection first. Go to AI mode, and it's gonna show you how much it is for sure. It might show you on all, but go to AI anyway, because it's gonna give you the whole rundown and everything. You're gonna find that your money, your USD, is going further in different countries, which means your harvest is gonna be bigger. you get it, right? Okay, because if you giving hundreds of thousands of dollars in another country, how you ain't gonna have a bigger harvest? When you're giving more help, so how you ain't gonna have a bigger harvest and you're giving $500,000 and better? How you ain't gonna have a bigger harvest? You got to, because it's off the strength of how much help you're giving. So this is just the next, listen, man, this is just like the 2026 level of giving on another level, man. Now we on a whole nother level. We on a whole nother level of giving. We're taking the USD and putting it in another country where it's $500,000 and better, and just tearing the devil's head off, because the exchange value is so much more. So you have to Google however much you give it, and you'll be surprised. You can go down to like $5, $20. You'll be like, wow, that's that much in another country? Yeah. Well, I only got $20. Go look at how, see how much it is. You're gonna be like, man, that's like $500 for like $20. You're gonna be so surprised, like, wow. And you telling me you ain't gonna have a bigger spiritual harvest when you doing more with your money, and your money is doing more, but God gonna give you a $20 harvest, but your seed is worth $100 over $200-300 over there. This is just the next level. God is gonna bless you. I'm telling you, man. This is the next level of giving for all these people that gave back in 2004, like me. I was giving 21 years ago. I was giving $500 to Bishop T.D. Jakes, his ministry. I gave like $500 at one time. But I'm like 23 years old. I'm like 23 giving $500. Okay, so I gave like 5 Benjamins, 5 $100 bills. Boom, put it in the put it in the microwave. put it in the mail, put it in the envelope. And man, I've been giving like this for a long time. Now it's the next level where now we taking money and and giving it to other churches in other countries, and we're helping more. Our money, our seed is being duplicated bigger. You follow me? It's being duplicated 1,000,000 times. 100-fold, 1,000-fold, 100,000-fold, like that. This is the next level of giving, man. This is the next level of giving. Now you're giving to a whole nother country, and you're monopolizing the seed, if you will. You're monopolizing the harvest. The seed and the harvest is being monopolized. It's a miraculous chain reaction that you're having when you put the offering in another country and they get hundreds of thousands of dollars. Because what they're gonna do is take cash. If you give cash, I do, and I don't have no problem with doing that. Some people are scared to give cash. I'm young enough where I'm not scared to give cash in the envelope, because I know it's a felony if you open that envelope, right? Okay, so I don't have a problem with giving cash. I do it all the time. They gonna take that money and go to the bank, right? And they're going to exchange it, and they're going to pay a little fee, and they're going to get the rest. They're going to get the difference after the fee. So if you send, let's just say, $500 to Colombia, right? They're going to take that money to a bank, and that's going to be over $1 million. That's going to be over $1 million. They're going to take that to a bank, pay a little fee for like $3,000 at best. That's how much they're going to be to exchange that. That's going to be $3,000 at best, $4,000 maybe. That's going to be a cool $1 million over there in Colombia and South America. And you telling me God ain't going to give you, when you doing $1 million of work, you telling me he ain't going to fight for you in spiritual warfare? Now, when you add that to spiritual warfare, what you think gonna happen to these gang stalkers, Freemasons, when you done gave $1 million in God's kingdom? Because I've been wanting to do this anyway. I've been wanting to put a cool $1 million, which many preachers probably done it already. Like Bishop Jakes probably done easily gave $1 million to the gospel. And now it's my time. I've been wanting to do that. He probably still doing it, but you know what I mean when I say it's my time. It's my time to do it. Now I'm giving $1 million. Many well-known preachers probably have done this in different countries, doing the same thing with the USD being worth more, and they realize that preachers probably been doing this for years. I can imagine, because they got a lot of outreaches in different countries. So you gonna use USD, and then you realize that's like $1 million over there. That's why the preachers be doing good. I'm telling you, they probably been doing this for years. Hey, these preachers been doing this for years, man. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I don't have no problems with those type of preachers, like Bishop Jakes, Pastor Parsley, Ron Parsley. Ron Parsley, that's my buddy right there, man. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have no problem with them two ministries right there. You know what I'm saying? I say respectfully, man, cause man, you know, people like to kick you when you're down. That's how I like to put it, man. But I remember all the good things that Bishop Jakes ministry did for the black community, especially with Mega Fest. You know what I'm saying? Mega Fest, yeah, that part. All them black folks coming out there to Mega Fest with the kids and all of that, and now people want to act like however they want to feel about him. You know what I'm saying? Let's put it like that. All that weird stuff, cause he was with Diddy and the truth is, man, a person on that level is just a master surgeon when it comes to witnessing to people and talking to people. I don't bother that. That's not my business. I don't know what God is doing in that situation. Who am I to say? You know what I'm saying? So I know at the end of the day, he coming back home to living a righteous life. That's what I believe. You know what I'm saying? But for who am I to pick his life apart, man? People got to be careful, man. People got to be very careful. Because look at the work he has done. And you think you can put your mouth on that person? Nah. I'm not that type of person. I practice what I preach, man. I don't put my mouth on these preachers like that, nah. Now, in general correction for the body of Christ, the things that I see that's going on, like nakedness of women and all this kind of stuff, okay, I'm a correct in general but just to be singling out people and it don't make sense, you know, I don't go that far. You know, Pastor Parsley is always 100. You know what I'm saying? He don't get, people tried to play with him, but it's just too much wholesome good that he doing. You know, it's just too much wholesome good. That's why America don't try to play with him like that. It ain't really nothing. He doing too much wholesome good. Pastor Parsley was freeing slaves in Africa, which he probably was using the same method of using the money, USD, to free slaves, because the money is the exchange value is valuable on USD. He probably was doing the same thing over the years. Now that I know, now that I realize, you know, USD over the rest of the world, he was freeing slaves. You can't even find me pro-black people. This is why Pastor Rod Parsley, I was giving my money to that ministry. This man, this white man was freeing slaves, African slaves. Literally, man. This is like the early 2000s and all of that. Now show me these pro-black people freeing slaves. That's what I'm talking about, buddy. So he always cool with me for that. If not for any other reason, man, that's one of the main reasons right there, buddy. Because, man, we ain't freeing no slaves, bro. This man freeing slaves. You gonna put your mouth on him? You should be afraid, man. You should be afraid to do that. All the good these men have done. All the good these men have done. You should be afraid to do that. You know, and I put my first $1,000 in Pastor Rod Parsley ministry when I was like 25. I was like 25. I gave my first $1,000 to ministry. Straight off, like not in bits and pieces. $1,000 transaction. Boom. I'm only 25 years old. See, I've been doing this for a long time, bro. That's what I'm trying to show you. I'm 44 years old now. I've been doing this for almost 20 years on this level. Like in hundreds and hundreds. I gave my first 100 when I was 18. I gave 125. I'll never forget that offering because it was a big step for me. I was only 18 years old. I was still a teenager giving offerings. This is why God defends me. Because I'm a darling of the kingdom. I'm one of the darlings. The darlings are those who give their young years to God. You know, you give your young years, your teenage years to God. Were you giving $100 to Pastor Rod Parsley? That's the ministry I gave to. Man, God gonna tear people apart playing with them kind of people. And I'm not the only one. These people that's been giving their life to God when they was a teenager, you out your mind playing with them kind of people. God will stand up and devour you for them kind of people. I call them the darlings of the kingdom of God. I'm one of them. When I was 18, I was giving $100 $125. That's the first, when I was 18 years old. Still a teenager, and giving offerings. Giving over $100 in the offering, and only a teenager. Now you think you can play with a person like that? Come on, man. No, you can't. No, you can't. No, you can't. See, I've been doing this too long, man. That's what I'm trying to show you. So, we're going to keep doing this. We're going to keep, listen, this now, I'm up to giving like $1 million down to Colombia. I'm happy about it, man, because it's not just the spiritual warfare aspect, man. It's just being able to give that much to God's kingdom, man. It's like, for a giver, that's a big feat for me in the right way. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy to do it, man. So, we're going to keep moving forward, soldiers. We're going to keep giving to God's kingdom, man, outside the country now. At this point, that's what we're doing.